dry. A dream or a song that hits you so hard, filling you up, suddenly gone.
It's working. Yay. Hello.
Yay.
Welcome, Internet. Welcome to One Shot Revolver. Today we are playing Bloodstone. Now, before we get started, I'd like to do an acknowledgement of country. I begin today by acknowledging the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation and the Noongar people and the Ngunnawal people, traditional custodians of the land on which we meet today, and pay my respects to their elders, past and present. We have a newbie today. Welcome, Ezekiel.
Hi, everyone.
Oh, hi. Didn't see you there.
Second time player, Kirsty. Thank you for joining us.
Hi.
And Danielle, we don't worry about Lachie. And Danielle will lead the way. So go for it.
So Bloodstone is a Forged in the Dark game. So it uses a variant on the Blades in the Dark rules. It's all of our first time going through it, including mine. So we may have some hiccups as we remember rules or work them out or work out what
perfection,
they mean.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Perfection all the way.
Everyone watching should take this as gospel. That's what I'm hearing.
Correct. Yes.
Oh, all right. So the premise here is that you are a group of hunters, as in hunters of the supernatural, the blasphemous and evil in the world. And you share a common dream with other hunters. You have been awakened. The rules say it's been months since your awakening. You joined Master Edwin's hunters. You've been trained and met other hunters like you. So you each have a trick weapon and a firearm. Would you like to introduce yourselves, your characters, including what your trick weapon is and the nature of your firearm and, your names and anything else you want people to know about you?
I'll chime in. Give me a go at this. I am playing the young student, Garth Fitzmon. He has a rifle and a mallet, I believe his options are. Yeah, it's a mallet that can turn into a firearm. So that's something. And yeah, no, I think that's really all about it. He's been there. He's, I think a chip on his shoulder that he is dead, but it's cool. Don't worry about it. It's the concept that we are. It's based on the Bloodborne. Bloodborne. Thank you. Now, in that system, you'd essentially died and got pulled into the Hunters Guild. Is that the similar idea here, or you're not sure on that one?
I believe the idea is similar. Bear in mind, I have never played Bloodborne. I have not seen it played. So I have the vaguest surface knowledge of the game. But I believe that the case is that you died from your old life and you were pulled into being hunters.
Beautiful. Yeah. Cool. So I think he's got a chip on his shoulder that he was killed. In the act of trying to save someone else, he got killed, and he's like, well, why should I have to do this? But, it's fine. He's been here for months now. It's coming the norm.
All right. And Kirstyn.
Kirstyn.
Yeah, so I am Temperance Foote. I am the lone survivor of a massacre that occurred in my childhood, and while I remember very little of that, it seems I remember the candles on the floor and the gurgling of an unnatural creature snacking on the brittle bones of my family.
That's a lot.
It is a lot. I wear priestly garb, although, spoiler alert, I may have no entitlement to wear that garb. I carry a mallet. No, I carry a cleaver, which under special circumstances can morph into a very awesome looking saw spear, and also an old school blunderbuss. I think that I have a dark past, and I don't think that I fully realised that I'm dead, or that perhaps that's probably how I felt inside for a very long time anyway.
Dark past. I like it.
I like the concept that you don't realise you're dead. You just feel like everyone who works an office job, you know. You died long ago, but you keep doing the same thing.
I died inside at the age of 4.
All right. Zeke.
Julian Meyer. He looks like at one point he might have been really well put together. He's wearing quite expensive looking clothing, although they're in tatters now, like they haven't been taken care of for a long time. Julian came from a line of merchants in his town, and he watched all of the ruthlessness that happens when you live in a port city. And he watched his father try to give too much, and he wasn't dissuaded by the fact that his father basically died because of his people taking advantage of him. And bad things happened in his town, and he got the call to the hunt at the same time. He thinks it's he doesn't know how much of it's a supernatural call necessarily, as much as it's his guilt telling him he has to go and make amends for some of the things that he refused to do because of personal greed.
Cool. Nice. And Damien.
Hello, I am playing Fabian Grimbald, executioner of old. He died in an alley after chasing down this very hero-type figure who escaped his executioner's axe. And he chased him down into an alley, and it didn't end well for him. That he remembers. His weapon, as mentioned, is an axe, and he carries a pistol, and he's generally a very violent fellow, which works very well with the job of executioner.
All right. So you are a group of hunters. You've been sent to the city of Hellower on a blood moon night. Hellower is damned. Decades ago, a mad priest officiated an ancient ritual, awakening a wicked force that branded every inhabitant of the city. Now, the rules say corrupting their blood, but that might be overstating it. There's certainly corruption here. Whether it's in the blood, that's unclear. On nights with a blood moon, the curse awakens, depriving the inhabitants of the city of their minds. There are a few who manage to resist the call of the curse, locking themselves up inside and praying to the gods that have abandoned them. But most of them are out on the streets, mad and bestial, depraved and violent. That's what you're looking forward to. Citizens with torches and pitchforks, looking for people to kill and torture and potentially eat. And not all of these citizens are human, because the city of Hellower is damned in a very specific way. The mad priest and his ritual centuries ago connected the city somehow to the depths of the ocean. And on nights of the blood moon, the sirens walk the streets as well. So that is what you know as hunters.
And today's the day after the blood moon. Thank God.
Yeah, totally.
This is the spa day moon. Yeah, beautiful.
So the city of Hellower rises along the shores of a once prosperous harbour where the Obscura River meets the sea. Before the curse, the harbour would have been filled with the graceful masts of 100 ships from around the civilized world. Now there's nothing there but a single derelict hulk, beached on the edge of Devil Reef, offshore, and the local fishing fleet. A briny fog drifts along the streets, even at midday, filling the air with the stench of rotting seaweed and cold, wet stone. Further from the shore, spiny towers rise like weird sea urchins from the narrow, cobbled streets. You are aware that there is a university on here somewhere, and around the university grounds and at the street corners for some distance around it, there are strange statues of sirens and hunched fish-scaled people with protuberant crab-like eyes and too many arms, watching over the citizens from their stone perches. Fish-like gargoyles crouch on roofs and eaves, spewing rainwater into the streets in wet weather. You have arrived by boat. So your boat has been pulled up on that tongue of sand inside the breakwater, and that is where you currently are, past the ruined lighthouse, inside the breakwater, on the sand.
So we've just arrived now from the boat. We've just pulled up and we're standing on the shore. Yeah.
You
awesome.
have pulled up and it is afternoon. Not that you can really tell from the light. It's overcast, grey, foggy, seaweed and brine and salt water everywhere. It's pretty miserable.
Nice. And our goal is to find this university?
Your goal is to find the apostle of the mad priest. So you know that there is an apostle, and you know that he's attempting to ascend, he, they, she, unclear, attempting to open some kind of gateway to the realm of the ancients. That's what your hunter prophecies could tell you.
Nice.
So you want to stop them.
So do we know each other? And if so, how long have we known each other?
You do know each other. You've known each other for at least a few months. It can be longer if you want for some of you, but all of you have passed your awakening and become hunters at least several months ago. It may have been longer. If it's longer, then, you know, the ones of you who've been around longer may have met each other in the past. It may even not be your first time doing a hunt together. Or it could be. You tell me.
Come on,
Nice.
Fabian, you must remember me besting you in our training at every turn. Or perhaps you prefer to forget the memories of your stinging defeat at my hands.
I remember nothing about this. You lie. You're always known to lie.
Garth pulls out a little notebook and adjusts his glasses, flicking through it. I believe she beat you 4-0 in your training sessions.
Garth, why do you never take my side?
I'm just with the facts. I apologize if they're not with you either. Maybe you should do better in training next time. Closes the book, puts it into his front pocket.
I'm not saying you're bad, Fabian, but excellence is definitely hard to exceed. Should I pull out who's holding the map of this God's forsaken town?
I think Garth probably would. He would have been studying it this whole time, and right here, Temperance, and then pulls it out, hands it over to you. And
Does anyone, Garth, you've been studying this terrible piece of paper for some time. Did you have any thoughts about a good place to start our search?
well, the map, although incomplete, we're trying to find the potential locations of the university. My thought would be that the fortified walls and something similar would be an excellent place for this apostle we're looking for to hold up in. Can I do some kind of roll to try and figure out where this university or college might have been?
Yeah, absolutely. That's probably a wits roll.
A dirty wits roll? Great. That's my worst. But look, let's start off the game hard. I'm going to use my armor's special ability and give myself one more wit so I can look impressive after my map studying. Now, we're using the alternate rules for the beast clock. So is one of my dice the beast one? Is that the plan? We've already got one.
No, you don't yet have a beast.
Excellent.
Factor.
Let's bring it in then. I rolled a 1 and a 4, so a 4 with my highest. So we've got a partial success.
I'm pretty sure that your armor doesn't add a dice. It just reduces physical harm.
No, with my special ability in the student attire, I get to add plus 1d to roll wit. So that was my.
That's your special armor.
Yeah,
that's already used. That's gone.
I've just used it now to try and look impressive. So my partial success, aced it.
Your partial success. Well,
you're brave man.
You didn't actually study the map before you got here.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't confirm on any of the other maps that you might potentially have looked at, but you believe that the university was somewhere along Lafayette Street.
Lafayette. Awesome. And as such, Garth, I believe the potential location of this could be on Lafayette Street, as per the GM's instruction.
Okay, I'm going to hold the map out so that Julian and Fabian may see it also.
Mm-hmm.
That's on the other side of town. From what I hear about Hellawea, we'll have some trouble getting to Lafayette. And it also looks like rather a lengthy street.
When I'm done pulling the boat ashore, I'll have a look at that.
Oh, how practical of you, Julian.
At least one of you is planning to survive long enough to get away from this place afterwards.
I think Garth was just watching him like, that's grunt work. Very well done, Julian. I thank you for your candor. Well, time is money, I guess. Not that dollars and coins are worth anything in these places. Shall we?
Okay.
We shall.
And let's just, we'll pick up some pots and pans, start banging them really loudly, singing maybe really loud too, and just walk down the street. No, okay.
Yeah, different game.
Yeah. Can we try and, be as stealthy as we can and not get our throats slit as we walk through these streets of unknown location?
You can. Now, you do believe that the curse comes with the blood moon. So until the moon rises, you're probably not going to see too many townsfolk frothing at the mouth with madness.
Awesome.
Just a few.
Too many.
Yeah.
Just a few.
Just the normal amount of townsfolk.
Do any of you know when moonrise is at this time of year?
Well, I think I established it was yesterday, so we don't need to worry. Is that a wit roll you're asking for? Is that the plan here?
I think it would be a wit roll, unless someone could tell me why they would know without making a roll for it.
I mean, surely... go.
I was going to say I perhaps would know because on that particular moon is when I did my execution duties. So it was like a regular monthly thing. So he would know the phases of the moon.
Definitely phases of the moon, but moon rising time? I don't know. I think you still have to make a roll, but you can have a bonus dice on it.
Aww.
Good call. Well done.
6.
The moon rises at 4:00 this afternoon and it's near full.
Know my stuff.
Don't worry about it. Because it's near full, they're only nearly foaming at the mouth. So,
So then do we have a sense of what time it is now? Is it possible for me to look through the mists up at the kind of orangish glow in the sky and try and determine what time it is?
It's mid-afternoon. It's sometime between 2 and 3.
Okay.
So you've got probably an hour's grace before you have rampant madness to deal with, maybe a little more.
Well, then let us move swiftly, compatriots.
So what street are we at now? Sorry?
You're on that tongue of sand next to the breakwater.
We can see Water Street just ahead.
Oh, yeah.
Where
Yep.
the roads are destroyed. Bar the Iron Bridge, which crosses from Fall Street, and also Federal Street, which crosses into Town Square. And further on the other side of town, we have another street that seems to not be destroyed as well, next to Railroad Station. All of the other roads will be too dangerous to cross, probably, but that means that there would be fewer denizens at those same places. So that might actually be, if we're ready to try and risk it, there might be a safer place to cross, because we will be encountering fewer things that might be out to harm us or tell other people that we're here.
Sorry, Julian, did you say Church Street or?
So Church Street is, let's see where Church Street is.
It's the one that's at the bottom end of the breakwater. If my time as a hunter has taught me anything, it's that creatures of evil and madness have a love of churches. So I would prefer, if we can, and I'm not saying that we should take the most circuitous route, but avoiding Church Street might be prudent, or unless we just hope that we can make it to Lafayette in the next hour before the moon rises.
Well, the most circuitous route would be Martin Street, and that can get us to Lafayette without encountering anything, really. There's no churches to speak of in that route.
What say you, Fabian? Garth?
Yes,
Which street?
Go on.
Sorry, which street was it?
Martin, to the north.
Where's that? Oh, that way. I'll go around the long way. Oh no, I see where you're going. Let's go Martin Street.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. And then so Garth agrees. Well, time is money. Chop chop. Now, is there group actions in this system? Is that the plan? If we still wanted to try and not be noticed by general peeps, or are we in a mindset that we're not concerned about for the next hour? We don't even have to worry about the general townsfolk.
Whether you worry about them or not is up to you.
Nice.
I'll allow group actions. They're not in the rules as such, but I think
that's okay. Yeah, that's all right. We'll stick with the rules as best I can. Let's just try and be as stealthy as we can as we slip through the back streets up water and then onto Martin. So
I would say that heavily armed hunters would be rather conspicuous in a small town, no matter how we move.
I don't know. We could roll some decent prowess.
Avoiding the churches, we're going to be avoiding most of the citizenry. And so what we're doing now is a good way of trying to keep a low profile.
Yeah, concur. And staying north of that town square with all those shops, which is surely a place we would seek to avoid tonight.
Yeah.
Okay. Time is money, Garth. Let's get moving.
Garth takes off his glasses, puts them in a protective, cover, and then starts moving. Yeah, cool.
So you're heading up Water Street and then left onto Martin Street and along that all the way over to Lafayette. Is that the plan?
Yep.
That's our intention.
All right.
Yeah.
So the fog is fairly thick to the point where visibility is down to maybe 10 meters or so.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah, it's super foggy. So looking at your map and looking at the streets, you're going to have to pay close attention so that you don't get lost.
Nice.
Up Water Street is reasonably straightforward because you can see the ocean off to your right. So you get up onto Water Street, turn right, head north up the street. And then how carefully are you checking how many turns there are? I mean, it is only one that you have to go past. So you're walking close to the walls underneath all the gargoyles.
Yeah, I mean, like if we come off Breakwater, we should, we'll end up straight on Church Street. If we make a right, then it should be the next main right. So, it's not like we need to be too careful, but
Left
off Water Street.
Yes, that is. If you turn right off Water Street, you'll go into the sea.
No, we turn right onto water and then left off. Or did I say left on? Okay, good.
right. So
I think that it's in Temperance's nature to be quite exacting. And so I think that Temperance would be being relatively careful and paying quite close attention to the map, and also having very little trust or faith in her colleagues to do so.
Ouch.
Yeah, that's probably valid.
I'm a lone survivor. You don't get there by having friends, dude.
I think Fabian's very laissez-faire and just kind of not paying attention.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
I think with the mindset that, you know, it's reasonably simple. I think Garth has the idea that everyone's out to get him. So he's the one who's looking out for trouble and expecting someone to run up and try and stab them in the back.
So what is your marching order? Are you all just in a group? Are you in single file? How
Garth
are
will
you
go
moving
the
along?
rear. I'll do the rear, just so that I can watch our backs.
I'm probably next to Temperance, trying to convince her that I actually won those fights, and
I was like, shh.
not
And I would
very
definitely-
successfully, and talking way too loudly.
Julian's going to be walking in such a way that he's close enough to the buildings on his left-hand side that he can see windows, whether they're shuttered or open, and see inside them potentially.
Okay. Most of the windows are still open. There are a few that are shuttered, but most of them are open like this was a normal day. Things that are stores are open for business. You even see the occasional flash of, you know, a proprietor deep in the shadows of the buildings. Presumably, they also see you as you walk past. None of you are being particularly stealthy, even though the fog does hide you from most things.
Yeah. I want to have my rifle out, just so we're, you know, as we're walking, the rifle's my choice weapon at the moment.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, I think I have a hand on the cleaver in my belt, and the other hand kind of in Fabian's face, trying to get him to shut the hell up.
Valid.
So on this street,
just
I
acts
think
like this.
on this street, I think we should walk close to the windows. But I think that once we enter like the straight run down Martin Street, that potentially it might be better to keep away from the buildings. But I don't know. Will that make it hard for us to see the turn into Lafayette?
It might do. You'd have to keep a sharp eye out for street signs.
Yeah. Okay.
And a thing that you have noticed about this town, just walking the, you know, half block up to Martin Street, not every street has a sign. They're all marked on the map, but they aren't necessarily signposted on every corner.
That's your tax dollars at work, people.
Not my tax dollars. Okay. All right. It seems we'll have to count the turns carefully if we wish to know when we get to Lafayette.
Mm-hmm. So as you reach the corner of Martin Street, and you've only been walking for 5 minutes, 10 minutes so far, enough time to notice the shuttered and open windows, the slight, you know, appearance of people inside the buildings, but not really enough to get true anxiety and happening. You see somebody in the road ahead of you. She is dressed like a nun, short, sort of slight woman with a wimple over her head, so it's difficult to tell what age she is. But she is standing at the street corner and she is looking up at you. She does appear to be waiting for you.
Hi, how are you?
I am well. You are visitors to our fine town?
Nice city you got here.
It is, isn't it? Such
Yeah.
a beautiful place,
I love the atmosphere.
as do we all. What brings you to Hellower?
Secret business. Oh,
Secrets. Only the secrets of those who wish to have a commercial advantage. I can't tell you exactly which product it is we seek to sell, but Garth here has an interesting business opportunity for the town.
Garth coming up the rear holding a rifle, just catching the last of the conversation from where he then joined in. Picks up the social cues because his resolve is the highest. Oh, yes. We are actually hunting for a particular set of furs. We specialize in acquiring the furs of mythical creatures and as such, and we've got quite a few buyers over in the mainland, which we sell, and we're over here potentially expecting to extend our business. Now we were looking to do some research. You wouldn't happen to know where the university is, Miss or Sister, may I say?
Sister Valia. I can certainly introduce you to my congregation.
Oh, I mean, would your congregation be working at the university itself, or are you located in one of these local churches? And gesturing
Some of them work at the university, but no one will be there at the moment.
Oh,
it's a blood moon. Didn't you realize? It's a holiday.
I thought that was yesterday. My sincere apologies. That is most unfortunate. Well, I mean, just stepping out of character, the townsfolk would know the danger of the blood moon, or are they just oblivious to it in our knowledge?
They know about the curse. Mm-hmm. You're certain of that.
Yep.
Whether they think it's a danger to them or not, you don't know.
Got it. Cool.
There's indication that some do and some don't.
Excellent. Yes. My sincere apologies. My dates have been all mixed up, my dear. Now, as such, I think we'd best get the lay of the land. We wouldn't want to be lingering out in the blood moon, would we? Now, if you'd be so kind as to point us in the direction, we'll head there and then make a trip back and potentially say come back around tomorrow. Would that be suitable?
Oh, you're welcome to come back tomorrow, but everyone's gathered at the Masons' Hall now. So you might as well come and give your marketing speech while everyone's there.
Oh, come on now. I wouldn't want to mix sales and fun. It's, business and fun, they don't mix. Today's a day of holiday. We're on a day of rest. I shouldn't be thinking about business, and it is my sincere apologies that I even brought it up. Isn't that right, Julian? This is my main man, Julian, here, usually good at carrying all my rugs and wares. Now, Julian, would you be so kind as to direct this woman away while I create a distraction?
Well, if you could show us to the direction of the Masons' Hall, we'll know which way to go. We'll follow you.
Of course. The Masons' Hall is just near here. It's on the corner of Church Street and Federal Street. And we do have some special customers coming in ourselves today, just for some initial information. So I thought perhaps it would suit you perfectly.
Well, it sounds delightful. We have some goods back at the carriage, so we'll meet you there.
Of course.
Sister Valia, as you can see, and I motion to my priestly robes, I am a woman of the cloth myself. I would be interested to learn more about your congregation and also about these visitors, did you say?
Yes.
Dot points. Garth does get frustrated if I take too long about these things.
I start loading my rifle with a silver bullet. Sorry, in the middle of my distraction, one moment.
The Esoteric Order of Dagon is a semi-religious order. We have certain beliefs, but we're primarily an outreach organization. We gain many visitors from far off places. They come and interact with our members and join us, sometimes in worship, sometimes just in play. Would you be interested in meeting some of us, our people?
Well, as Garth says, we wouldn't want to mix our sales with our pleasure, and nor would I wish to make a pitch unprepared. So perhaps we should head to the university first, but I do thank you for your kindness.
Is that in mind? You've mentioned that quite a lot of people have been attending this little soiree shindig of yours. Would it be perchance that you might have had another gentleman come through, or maybe a female, another person of the cloth, an apostle, if you will, spreading their words and good fortune amongst your people? Has anyone like that shown up recently?
I'm uncertain what you mean. We have many people coming to us, and many of them share good news with us. Are you searching for someone in particular? We have no apostles here, but you might want to speak with Father Marsh. He would be the one to know if there'd been anyone important of a religious nature entering the town.
Yes, that could quite be possible. We have been looking for someone who we were told was going to make a big purchase from us. Now, we assumed that they might be residing at the university, but that's only because it was one of the largest structures in the area. I think it might be wise, and he kind of gestures to the people as a yes, no, if we were to attend this little shindig of theirs. And
I think over Valier's head, who is facing away from me towards Garth, I'm like, no.
Okay. No. My gut is telling me, dearest Valier, kind Valier, that we should swing past the university first, and then we can loop around. We'll come back. We'll maybe head over to the what street was it? Lafayette Street, and then we can loop back again towards the library, and we'll see somewhere near where you are on Church Street. Does that sound amicable to what you're doing?
Of course.
You're too kind.
Come join us whenever you're ready.
Please, thank you, and you're much kind, and I appreciate your greeting us in the welcome party. You may tell your sisters you did a good job.
Thank you, kind sir. We appreciate your kindness in noticing.
Praise. Well, time is money, as it is. We'll just sneak on past. Everyone, if you could step around Sister Valier with a decent distance, and we shall continue on. And
do choose a congregation before the evening. It would be such a shame to be out on the streets tonight.
Oh yes, it is that of the Red Moon. Well,
Yes.
Let's speed along. Come on, Julian, Grimbald, Miss Foote.
See you, sister.
Fare you well.
And wanders off.
So basically, the moment we're out of earshot, I'm going to put my pack down on the side of the road. I'm going to take my scales and I'm going to write some stuff on pieces of paper. I'm going to put them weigh them on the scales, and I'm going to ring my spirit bell. And I want to know, let's see what the questions I'm allowed to ask are. I want to know, what do they intend to do?
Nice. So that's how you play
nice.
the game.
Yeah, that's how you do
It's
it.
called using the rules. And just got it. Unlike us who sit there like, this is bullshit for the next 20 minutes.
All right. So, using, you spend an insight if you want to ring your spirit bell and summon a ghost. And your question was, what's going on here?
What do they intend to do?
What do they intend to do?
Do we start with any insight?
I thought we started with...
Yeah, you start with 4.
Awesome.
What do they intend to do? So your scales sit there perfectly balanced for a moment, And then they wobble, one piece of paper weighing more than the other, and then swapping. And then there's a faint breeze, which doesn't blow the fog away, but it does move the scales. It moves one of your pieces of paper to the other side, so that there are two on one side of the scales. And on the other side of the scales, where that piece of paper was, there's a tiny little creature. It's translucent, almost like it's made of light, like one of those light sculptures that you see sometimes. And it looks a little bit like kind of a starfish mated with a sea urchin and then grew some tentacles out the top. And one of those tentacles has got a tiny little human face on it.
Fuck.
Yuck.
Horrifying.
Handsome fella.
And it says to you, the Order of Dagon do what they do. They haven't lied to you. They intend to bring new members into the Order. Fully into the Order tonight.
Okay, so first of all, that hasn't happened before. I didn't mean for that to happen. I'm sorry, everybody. But,
We've got some in the back, like, oh, it's so idiot.
The little translucent ghost thing crawls down off the scales and crawls onto your boot. Apparently it likes the retching.
Yeah, cool. Here's your one question. He just boots it. Okay, good. That problem is solved.
With the retching. Julian, perhaps you should ask this apparition further questions while you have it here.
I mean, what else should I ask it?
Potentially the location of this apostle would be somewhat useful.
I don't think
That's not one of the...
Yeah, I don't think that's something that I can get a clear answer to from my divination method.
And it's a point of insight per question, so I don't know if you want to use it all up now.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we're about to explore the city, so I think we'll get some insight back. But, I mean, the only other thing I can think of is what is hidden or lost here, or what is really going on here.
I mean, who's the most dangerous could be useful.
We only know one person, so...
I know, but I mean, out of that, it might be nice knowing whether they're dangerous.
Compared to nothing, they're always going to be dangerous.
Wow, it doesn't say comparison. Oh, it does actually. Who's the most? Yeah, it's fair. It's fair.
If you'd like to make a resolve check, you can ask for more information on the question you already asked. But if you fail it, your consequences are probably going to be the ghost becoming less friendly.
This seems fine. I didn't want the ghost anyway. So I'm making a resolve check to clarify. I have rolled terribly.
Yeah, wow.
Oh, no.
So I'm going to have a consequence as far as I can tell.
Yeah. So the tiny little sea urchin ghost starts to swell. It just kind of grows gradually larger. And by the time you've realized it's doing this, it's already the size of a football and it's crawling towards you, Julian. It's crawling towards you and it's abandoned Garth's boot. Good. It's going to start eating your boot. And when it starts eating your boot, it's actually exuding acid onto your boot. So you are going to need to make a prowess check to escape it, or you can try attacking it. Otherwise, you're going to lose that boot.
I'm going to try and resist the consequence.
Okay.
I'm going to use 2 stamina to do so because, dice rolls are good. A 6 is much better. So what happens to my...
That is much better. You...
Avoid the consequence and refresh 1 blood.
you manage to kick the incorporeal ghost away from you back towards Garth, who presumably dodges.
Yep, tuck and roll. Yeah.
And
good.
it kind of sinks into the stone of the street in between the cobblestones and just leaves this kind of slight greenish slime on that patch of road.
I think Garth will walk up to Julian and get right up in his face and be like, I know it's our first time working together, Julian, but if you ever try that shit again, I swear to God, you'll join that cult. And then,
You asked me to ask it more things.
I didn't. I wanted to. No. I tried to boot it. No, I think he'll just, we'll start walking off in a huff, but he's just like, come along, let's get to this university.
Yeah.
And he'll start leading the group towards that way, I guess.
All right. So
Okay, so I'm going
continue
to
along Martin Street.
I'm going to very carefully stay to the left-hand side and count the roads as we pass.
Okay.
Having noticed that there weren't a lot of street signs to make sure that we don't miss Lafayette.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I'm directly behind you doing the same thing.
Okay, yeah, good.
All right. So you continue along Martin Street, past one street and a second and a third, and then there's a longer space with no side streets. These all seem to be crossroads. There are no streets off to one side and not off to the other. And you hear a sound as you get further along towards the next turn off to the left. It's a sound of singing or maybe chanting. It's musical, but in the way that Gregorian chant is musical. It's not exactly singing, but it's not singing either. And in the fog, it's difficult to tell where it's coming from, but it's not close. It's coming from at least a block away in some direction.
Nice.
You also hear footsteps. You don't see anything, but your hunter senses are perked. There's something on the street with you, close by, possibly more than one something. And I say something because it's the wrong cadence of footsteps for a human.
Nice.
Can we tell with the fog, like change of sound, can we tell if they're behind us, in front of us?
They're probably in front of you. They're near you. And they're moving. So it's a bit hard to tell exactly where.
Are they getting louder?
If you had to guess, and you've been on hunts before, so your guess is probably quite a good one, you'd say that they were circling you.
Okay.
Or trying to.
Awesome. Being that Garth was in the front and assuming he heard this, can I roll a prowess roll to kind of sneak back into the fog and get an angle and use the rest of the party as bait?
Yeah, absolutely.
Nice.
Yeah, great work, Garth. I'll just say to Julian, who seems competent, it seems they're trying to flank us. I don't think I want that. We should get moving.
We are on a street. Where are they going to flank us from?
If they're circling us, if they're all around us.
So Martin Street is reasonably large. It's definitely wide enough to get, two carriages past side by side with some space in between. With the fog, you can only just see from one side of the street to the other.
Yeah.
You could definitely be flanked on the street. Or maybe they're down that side street with the singing. It's hard to tell.
So, and I'm just talking at a normal volume. I suspect that this is Federal Street, and that singing is coming from the hall we were informed about earlier.
Yeah, I would say that seems likely. Also, Garth seems to have made his own move. Perhaps
Where is he?
if we're shortly to be surrounded, we should at least get a building at our back. And I'll
I
move
should
over.
I should
Yeah.
roll to see how well I
Yeah.
actually
So,
try to hide from you guys.
Garth, you're on -1 dice because you can't actually see what you're trying to get an angle on. You can only hear it, and that not clearly.
All right, so just straight up D6. All right, let's do it. I rolled a 3, straight up failure, I think.
Yep. You not only do not get an angle on anything, you walk into one of them.
Oh, great.
Garth,
So
Yeah,
now
how do
you
you
know
do
what
it?
it is.
Yeah, so he's sneaking around looking and then just hits this wall and then turns and it's like, oh my god, it's a
Wolfhound.
oh good. I thought it was something dangerous.
Now, a wolfhound is a dog almost as large as a wolf, which means its shoulders are probably at your chest level.
Mhm.
They are huge.
Good.
And this
good.
one looks sick.
Oh, awesome. Love it.
It's kind
Love
of
it.
frothing at the mouth and snarling. And yeah, it's got pieces missing. Like you can see its ribs through its fur. And its eyes are glowing yellow. It's not a good look. This creature is clearly not, well, it shouldn't be walking around. Let's just put it that way.
Love it. Love that for me.
The rest of you hear a snarl from the fog. You do not see Garth.
Can you tell me which direction the snarl is?
It's behind you.
Oh,
Yeah.
Did anyone hear that? Did anyone hear that?
It
Yeah.
sounded like a little girl screaming.
and did you see Garth sneak off, or is this snarl possibly from something that's abducted Garth?
You didn't see Garth sneak off because he did sneak very sneakily in the fog.
That's how good I am. So good I
Yeah.
couldn't even see where I was going.
In that case, I will say something like, it's taken Garth, and I'll point back to where we came from.
Garth?
Garth?
Yeah.
Garth? Garth?
You hear Garth is like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. And then, trying to load his rifle, get it in position that he can shoot this out.
So can we
Yeah.
pinpoint the direction of Garth's voice? Is it
You
coming?
can. It is close enough that you can easily determine. It's coming from just behind you, just
Yeah.
a little bit back from where the rest of you are. And there's something snarling in the same place. And there are more snarls coming from the fog near you.
Awesome. So, do we jump into initiative, or is it just an action roll to try and survive or do something? How do you want to work it? What's the...
I don't think we need to do initiative. You can just tell me, each of you, what you're going to do.
Great.
And we'll resolve that as we go. So, Garth, you can go first.
If I get the choice, I want to try and, point blank shot this wolfhound with my rifle that I had out.
Yep, you can definitely do that.
Excellent.
So you...
Now I have a parry +5 and stun +5. Does that mean I roll and I have to get higher than 5 in order to do these things?
I think it might. Firearm. Yeah, you have to roll 5 or higher to get either of those things. We're going to say that stun, and when you're trying to actually hurt it, it's going to be the same cost.
Yeah. Awesome. Cool. Great. So I will...
If you fail, it's going to bite you.
Yes. Great. All right. Let's stun it. So is it just one dice, or do I call an action that I'm doing to try and justify it?
You'd use a prowess roll
prowess
for that.
Seems accurate.
But if you can tell me why you'd be using resolve or wit to make a point blank shot, you can.
No, I think prowess seems fair. He's in a panic and trying not to get his face bitten off by a rabies-infested wolfhound. So it sounds good. Let's do it.
I think you get to roll a die per bullet you mark. Or for stun, 2 bullets you mark.
It uses 2 bullets for stun.
2 bullets. Great. All right. Well, I rolled a 5. Successful on a 5.
Excellent. You have stunned the creature. It
Excellent.
ceases snarling and drops to the ground.
Good. I give it a few good kicks to make sure it stays down.
All right.
I will call out to the group and be like, "There's wolfhounds in the area. Everyone prepare."
So, Julian, did you want to act next? You seem to be on the ball with this.
Yeah, I want to run towards where this sounds of scuffle come from, and I'm ready to, if I'm there with enough time, I'm ready to swing with my base form attack with my scales.
All right. You get there as Garth point blank shoots this undead-looking wolfhound in the face, and it falls over. So you probably don't need to hit it with your scales, but you can still hear that there are another couple in the fog.
Okay. Well, I'll get ready to turn around and fight those when they emerge.
All right. So who's next?
I think I actually have, as lone survivor, the signature ability that I always act first.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, that's all right. I was just forgetting that as well. So I think that I would already have gotten there ahead and be standing with my back up against Garth and Julian, sort of facing outwards, ready for whatever comes next.
All right. So Fabian, you've been left on your own in the fog. Are you joining them?
I will join them. I've got my violent past signature ability, which says plus effect when unleashing physical violence. What does that mean?
It means that when you use physical violence against something, you get a greater effect than other people would. So instead of a standard effect, you get a +1 great effect.
Well, so does that mean I kind of automatically get my alternate form of weapon?
It does not, I don't believe.
It would be the same as if you were using a sword spear against an undead thing.
Right. Okay. Well, I'm going to use my long axe and smack one of them. So I'm going to use 2 stamina to do that, which gives me increased effect. So I have increased effect, I guess.
So your increased effect for your long axe is great range.
Yep.
And then you also get increased effect because you're being violent. So
Yes.
you swing violently into the fog with your long
Yes.
axe.
Yes.
And you need to make the roll to see if you hit. So
6.
4. Excellent. Which is as if you had gotten 2 6s. You managed to hit, without even being able to clearly see it, another of the wolfhounds in the fog. You hear the thump as it falls to the ground.
Excellent.
And then you join your companions. There is one wolfhound left circling you. What would you like to do? Is anyone going to do anything to it, or are you going to wait for it to lunge in and try to bite you?
I guess I would try to hack at it with my saw spear at its legs as it goes past. That costs 2 stamina, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And how many dice do I roll? Is it a prowess move?
I think it's a prowess move. You're using your physical abilities.
Okay, I'll use... Sorry, getting used to roll these. Oh. Okay, 2. Not a lot of effect.
The undead wolfhound lunges past your sword spear and bites you in the leg.
Oh God, no!
You take one point of harm.
The blood. Is that the youch?
Yeah, that uses up a point of blood to give you harm.
I don't make a sound.
Can I try and shoot it off her leg?
It feels risky, dude.
I mean, sure.
Come on, he's panicked. He's seen Temperance getting attacked. The lone survivor.
I'll survive you all as well. Don't you worry.
Now, I want to try and push myself. So I can add 1 dice for each stamina spent. Ooh, nice. Okay. How much stamina have I got? I'm going to spend 2 stamina so I can get an extra 2 dice on this.
Temperance, you get a stamina back because you faced consequences there.
Yeah.
Just don't forget that.
Okay.
Nice. Cool. I rolled 3 5s and a 4 for 5 being my highest. So,
all right.
Yeah, it's what's that? Success, but also suffer a consequence. Great.
Cool. So you were trying to shoot the dog?
Yeah. Straight off Temperance's foot.
Yep. You definitely managed to shoot it.
Good. And no harm done.
Yeah, not to Temperance. However, you use an extra bullet.
Oh, okay, cool.
So
like
that's used 3 bullets, for that shot out of your 6. You're down
great.
to 1 left.
That's right. Good. I like it. And that used up 2 of my stamina as well. Great. Doing good.
But you get a stamina back because of the consequence.
Okay, cool. So even on basic consequences, you get a stamina back, yeah?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, yeah, we got to use stamina more, guys. Milk that stamina for everything it's worth.
So do we just get 1 back or do we regain them all?
You just get...
It says regain all.
Oh, you just get 1 back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because otherwise,
you GM.
Otherwise, you're just going to be constantly at full stamina.
Yeah.
And this is meant to be a certain amount of endurance. If it gets too hard, I'll change that.
Okay, great.
Cool.
So
Excellent.
the wolfhound is deceased or not?
It's certainly down for the count. Whether it is properly dead or whether it'll get back up in a bit, that's hard to tell.
Can I swing my saw spear around and hack off its head?
Yeah, you can definitely do that. You need to still make a roll for it.
Yeah.
And spend your money to not money.
Stamina.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you do have a moon dice because you got bitten.
Oh, I'm going to roll with my 5th dice then. Okay.
So you've got
my moon dice has a paw on it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Super cute.
Okay. So my highest on my others was a 4 and my moon dice was a 3.
Okay. So when you use a moon die, you get to choose, same as always, you get to choose which die you use. You can choose not to use your moon die results, even if it's the highest.
Mm-hmm.
But if you do choose to use it, then more things happen.
Okay.
So since it wasn't your highest, I presume you're not using it.
No, I will not.
All right. And your highest roll was
4, so partial success.
Partial success and consequences. You don't fully cut its head off. Your saw gets stuck partway through its spine. So it's mostly cut off, but it's like nearly headless Nick. It's nearly headless wolfhound.
We've all been there.
I'm just going to put a foot on its head and yank my spear out.
But you do, as you're doing that, it sprays this diseased undead blood all over the place. So everybody else needs to make a fortune roll to not get hit with it.
Classic fortune.
Yeah.
So just a 1d6?
That's just 1d6. If you get a 1 to 3, you will be hit in the face by diseased blood.
6. Again.
I got a 3.
And
it makes sense. He's right there across from Temperance, shooting the dog in the face.
You're all good. So, Garth, you're the only one who got hit in the face with diseased blood. You also have a moon dice now.
Oh, classic. Nice.
Yeah.
Sprays up and just gets all in my mouth.
Yeah.
Oh God.
And you thought the ghost was bad.
Why is it sweet? Yeah.
right.
So he'll take off his little rag that he uses to clean his glasses and wipe the blood off his face, and just drop the rag on the ground like. And well, I suggest that since we can only set our guns to stun, we get out of here pretty quickly.
Okay.
So yeah, can we start running?
You can absolutely start running. Who remembers how many streets you'd crossed?
3 to the left.
I believe
Okay.
we were on Martin Street.
You're on Martin Street, yes.
Oh, sorry.
But you were counting how many cross streets you'd been past.
The 4th was just approaching.
Oh,
All right. So you want another 2 and then you're going to turn? Another 3 and then you're going to turn, sorry.
That's what I was
That's
expecting.
correct. Yeah, hold on.
All right. So you're going to run whilst watching for streets and then take a turn?
Yeah.
Okay. All of you make a prowess check at this point because you're running
God.
along slippery streets in the fog with who knows what after you.
Prowess is definitely where Julian lets everyone down.
Out of curiosity, the fortune roll, when I fail that, does that give me stamina back?
No,
No, cool.
that's just who has the bad luck.
Do I need to do my moon dice
Ooh.
then as well?
Yeah.
So I did-
You do need to roll it. You
Yeah.
don't need to use it unless you want to.
yeah, I rolled it, so I don't have to use it, thank goodness.
Yeah, I rolled a 6 on my moon dice, and I will use it.
Okay.
So I think as the sweet blood covers his mouth, he kind of gets slightly better footing and traction on the ground.
Something within you just flexes and you feel more capable. You run better. You can even see better in the fog. It's almost like you can find your footing in this weird cursed city
Yeah.
just a little more effectively.
He looks back to the group and says, "Don't worry, guys. The fog's clearing up here."
Is there any change in Garth that is apparent to us? Does he move differently or?
No, he's still spitting rancid blood out of his mouth and being the same overly unhappy.
He's always run on all fours.
Does Temperance feel any? Does Temperance feel any differently? Like, do I get a sense?
Not yet.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Okay.
At the moment, you just have a bit of a pain in your thigh where you got bitten by the dog.
It's nothing.
Exactly. It's a flesh
By dogs
wound.
all the time. Yeah.
Julian scored a partial success, so I have to suffer a consequence.
All right. You are definitely keeping up with the others, but you are at the back of the group. And
That position.
and you are using all of your attention on running. So if there is something around, you probably won't notice it until it's right there and the encounter is upon you.
Excellent.
And just checking what that next encounter was. Do we want to stop for a quick break so everyone can go to the loo, gets a drink or whatever?
Yes.
Sounds
Sounds
wise.
fantastic.
Yeah.
All right.
Easy.
All right. Let's have a break then. All right. See you soon.
I'll find a
Back
fire
in-
hydrant.
Back in 5 or 10.
Back is
All
fine.
right.
And we are back. And the thingies are all stuffed up, but I'll fix that. Danielle, go ahead.
All right. So when we left you, you were all running along Martin Street. And you were counting your left-hand turns as you passed them. So you count another, where were you here? So you count another 3, one and a second and a third. And then you get to the street that you feel must be Lafayette Street. It is unsignposted. And you turn left.
Excellent.
Are you still running?
Yeah, I think we're moving quickly. We want to try and outrun these dogs. And,
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
if
I forgot to say I
possible.
rolled a 6 on that.
I'm just trying to keep up with.
So I'm just doing handstands.
Yeah, I rolled a 6 as well.
God, we have what 3 6s and whatever
And a 5.
and a 5. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm rolling so well today. I don't know what's happening.
I was not running, sorry.
That the moment you say that, it's all going to go to poo.
Oh, just jinxed it. Damn it.
You had a good run.
Put it on yourself.
So
So can I look up at the sky? Where is the sun? Like, how much time has passed?
you've passed a good half hour or so at least between stopping to chat to Sister Valia and stopping to fight the undead wolfhounds and walking slowly along the first half of Martin Street, counting streets and being careful. Sunset's a little way off, but it's at least half an hour since you arrived. It is slowly getting darker, which doesn't help with the visibility, but it's not dark enough for you to not notice a university, which you do not appear to pass. And then you get to the river.
Ooh, fun. And I'm assuming we so far haven't seen anything that looks like a university.
Nothing that looks like a university.
Awesome.
But your map does show that Lafayette Street continues on the other side of the river. There just isn't a bridge there.
Awesome.
Oh, no bridge.
No, it just ends with a kind of a little dock. So it looks like at some point this river was trafficable and ships used to come up and down it to get out to the bay.
But there's no boats in evidence or.
No, not at the moment.
Okay.
What kind of current are we talking about?
I mean, you can't see rapids. There are small falls along the river, but those are locks. They're not natural rapids. So it's hard to tell. It's definitely moving faster than the Yarra. It's not a slow mud puddle like you lot have, but how fast it's moving under the surface between the fog and the low light, it's hard to tell.
There'd be far more horrors in the Yarra than there would be in that.
Did our maps
Questionable.
reflect that there was the bridge on Washington Street?
You wanted to turn down Lafayette.
We did, yeah, but we're assuming we've made it to the river, but we knew on Washington Street, assuming Garth looked at the map before, is it accurate that Washington Street would have a bridge if we go by what the map says?
If you look to your left up the river, you cannot see a bridge from where you are.
Awesome.
But
Cool.
remember that the fog is very thick.
Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah.
It's more just, the map that we have, does it say there was a bridge here?
The map that we have says that there's a bridge to our east on, like you said, on Washington Street.
Yeah, no, but I'm wondering, does the map say, like, if we're ignoring the map that we've got here, does the map we have say there's a bridge here?
No.
Oh, I see.
No. Okay, great.
Yeah, so it's really whether we turn left or right down Dock Street, like towards the railroad station, or.
While you debate whether you go left or right, you hear some kind of scree calls, like seagulls, exactly like seagulls, just large, loud seagulls above you.
Garth will reassure the group, worry not, they're just seagulls. And I'll roll a
Seagulls,
resolve to calm them down. Yes. Do we know of these creatures? Are they more horrific things that will tear our heads off?
Well, they sound like seagulls, and they sort of circle around in a flock like seagulls that have been disturbed, and then they gradually land either on the river or on the shore. It looks like there isn't much of a current based on the fact that the seagulls land on the water and don't immediately get swept away.
Okay. All right.
They look like pretty standard, if large, seagulls, but they do all have 3 eyes each.
Horrific.
Yes, everything in the city.
Terrific. Looks
And
like
they're all staring at you and screaming like, do you have chips? Do you have something we can have?
Mine,
just our sweet blood. So it looks like to the west there's the best chance of a bridge up towards the railroad station. I'm pointing to the map, which we have somehow got out again, and so I'm voting that we turn right here.
My only concern would be that if that the bridge on that end near the railroad station is collapsed, as this one have, then it appears there's no other choices for us to cross. If we were to
Garth,
get over to the east, we might have more options.
this is a good argument, Garth. I am swayed by you. I believe that perhaps the other direction might be a wiser choice.
Also, the library is in that direction.
Oh.
Well, we don't want the library, do we? Or,
I thought we were just avoiding the churches.
yes.
Yes.
All right. Well, I'm happy enough to try and sneak out. So if we direct these ones, do the seagulls seem like they want to, be eyeing us a lot?
They're definitely eyeing you, but at the moment they're still just eyeing you the way that seagulls at the beach eye you in case you have something they can have, not in the way that starving chihuahuas eye you, in the way that maybe you are the thing they can have.
Excellent.
Okay,
all right.
time's wasting and those are spooky. Let's get moving.
Yeah.
Can I do a reload? Is that an easy action?
Yeah.
But if I want to do the silver bullets, so mark any amount of blood and or silver bullets for each. Roll 1d6 and regain bullets equal to the highest result. Okay, so with blood, I've got 5. Is that the concept?
Yep, you start with 5 blood and you haven't used any yet, so you still have 5.
Cool. So I can roll that, or is it for each one I use, I get a bullet back? Is that the concept?
Let's have a look at reload.
For each roll 1 dice. Okay, yeah, no. So I think I spend a blood, I get 1 dice and bullets back.
Yeah, I think that's...
I'm going to do that. So I'll take a blood, and then I'll roll a d6.
And now, because you have moon die, if you're rolling only 1 die,
that is solid 4. I got a 4 on my moon die.
All right, you get 4 bullets back, and you now have 2 moon die.
Huzzah! Look at me go, living the dream. My tail starts wagging.
But you've got 4 bullets, so you know.
I know. Look, I'm not complaining. That's why I'm happy. Great. So I will convert my blood into bullets and reload my gun.
Mm-hmm.
And all right, let's continue on. So I'll wave the other ones to continue on, and I'll be last to leave the gaze of the 3 gulls.
So we're going east and then trying to turn right down Washington Street. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yes, that's the plan.
Where it says warning sign.
Yeah.
Just that nice little ominous warning sign.
It's in brackets, so it doesn't really count.
No, true.
We'll wait till we see the warning sign.
All right, so we're going to try to find the warning sign.
Yeah.
So you continue east along Dock Street.
Yep.
Which oddly is signposted, but only at the riverside of the crossroads. Also, it turns out that you went down Adam Street, not Lafayette.
Uh-oh.
How did that happen?
Well, you were fighting, you were running, you
It happened.
where you were.
curse this
I mean, I
mist.
said, who remembers how many roads you passed? And
Yeah. Oh gosh.
so
Shit.
at least you know where
Okay.
you are now.
Yeah.
Yes.
On the corner of Adams Street and Dock Street, heading east.
Yep.
Nice. Nice.
So you pass Lafayette Street, and the seagulls mostly
there a
do
bridge?
actually follow you.
Is there a bridge on Lafayette or also no bridge there?
Also, no bridge there.
Yeah.
Out of curiosity, how long would it take us to walk up to Martin Street again?
Oh, it's 2 blocks, 10 minutes.
And only because if the university is on that street, we might have passed it. That's, if it's between, Martin and Doc, and we walk down Adams, we would have walked straight past it without knowing. I'm tempted to just do a quick double back.
Yeah, I concur. I mean, if we are seeking the university, we should look for it properly.
Yeah. Good idea.
So we'll go up and back, and maybe we can, leave the seagulls for a minute.
Do they follow us when we leave the river?
They follow you a certain amount of the. They don't follow you once you turn up Lafayette for more than half a block. They just sort of fade back into the distance, but you can still hear them occasionally.
Great.
Okay.
So we'll walk up the street to keep an eye out for this potential university.
Okay, you walk up Lafayette, and the first block or so, there's nothing. It's much the same as it was before. But as you pass what must be Church Street, you do actually see some large buildings on your right. So you recall that what you know about the university is that there are a lot of statues near it and gargoyles on the roofs. And this area, there are definitely old buildings. There are statues, there are gargoyles on the roof. There is a statue on the corner of Lafayette and Church, which it looks like a mermaid, like one of those old-fashioned drawings of a mermaid with a fishtail, a beautiful woman's torso, hair flying in the ocean breeze or possibly the current, seaweed strategically covering the bits.
Ripped straight off the bow of a ship.
Except made of stone.
Perfect. Stone ship.
Stone ship. Oh, I'm going to find a way to put one of those in this game now.
Cool. All right.
But she's staring out at you as you walk up Lafayette Street with these eerie, pale stone eyes that really creep you out really badly.
I mean, if she's got ears for eyes, I'd be creeped out too. Sorry.
Are you though? Are you sorry? Because you will be.
Can I go and investigate the statue? Like, is there anything strange about it? Are the eyes moving when I move closer?
The eyes don't move as you come closer, but you still have this feeling that something is watching you. Maybe not the statue itself, maybe something through the statue or using the statue. Also, one of the three-eyed seagulls lands on its head, and that definitely is watching you. It's staring at you with all 3 eyes.
Okay, I think that I will pull out my spirit bell and ring the bell to summon a ghost.
Okay.
And it's the ghost of a seagull.
Yours?
So I have to mark. I lose an insight,
Jumps.
right?
Jumps.
Yep, you use an
Jumps.
insight. So you ring your spirit bell, summon a ghost, and the statue blinks and then turns her creepy, eerie stone head around to look at you and says in this beautiful, musical, utterly disturbing voice, "Yes, can I help you?"
So what is hidden or lost here?
The past. and the future.
Tell me more. You said I could do a resolve check.
You can make a resolve check to get more information.
Okay.
But if you fail it, the
Yeah.
ghost will start becoming aggressive.
I like those odds.
And what are the chances?
I was saying I'll do on Discord so
That'll
everyone
never
can see it. I have high resolve.
Is there any way that I can
Oh, I forgot to roll my blood die, my moon die.
do what I
So
do and just take the first one?
The
Yeah.
first one is the moon die then.
So are you going to use that?
Yeah, I'll use the moon die. Actually, there's no
Why?
advantage because it's 4 or 5 is the same, so I will not use the moon die. I'll use the 4.
Okay.
Also, the first die is just going to be the highest die on that shot.
Yeah.
Always? No,
Yeah.
not always. No.
Okay.
Not always.
Okay.
All right.
No,
So
you're right. You're right.
So what about the past is hidden?
the
Spirit?
history of Inware Marsh is hidden here.
Inware Marsh.
Inware Marsh. Father Marsh, the head of the city.
Now, this was the one that Sister Valia spoke about, Father Marsh.
Mhm.
Is that him?
It
Yeah,
is.
Cool.
But as the statue says that, she reaches out towards you and grabs your wrist. And her hand, she's got webs between the fingers and really long fingers with claws on the end. And she wraps that stone hand around your wrist, Temperance,
Okay.
and starts to squeeze.
Can I get my cleaver and smash it down on her wrist?
You definitely can.
So at this point, I would also mention that I think the stamina mechanic, if we only regain 1 each time, I kind of max out at 1 all the time. I never get to use my alternate form of my weapon. So I think it might be worth thinking about regaining all, but I'll just roll.
Okay. Well,
Wouldn't it just mean that you have to fail twice?
But then I have to spend 1 to fail in the first place. You have to spend 1 every time to be able to fail. So it always just maxes out at 1. I spend 1 to use a base form, and then unless I could start using my...
No, but I mean, like, because wouldn't you gain it for failing in other things?
Oh, yeah. Okay. So I just need to start doing other things besides hitting stuff with my cleaver. Okay. That involves branching out. I don't know if I can go there. Okay. So 5. I didn't roll my moon die. Should I roll another D6 as well?
Aren't you only rolling 1 dice?
So is that necessarily my moon die, the first
Yeah.
one?
It is.
If you only
Okay.
have 1, yeah.
Oh, my
That
gosh.
was my problem, which I kept suffering.
Okay.
So that means you are using the moon die.
Yeah.
That's all right.
No.
Nothing appears to happen.
It's like a throbbing in the wound on my calf or my thigh.
With a 5, you have success but consequences. So you do chop or shatter the hand off of your arm, but you are left with a stone bracelet in the form of siren fingers.
Awesome.
That's how's that a consequence? That's cool as hell.
It's a consequence because it's going to have effects later.
You say that, but we'll forget.
I won't.
Now, from what just happened, can we establish that Father Marsh might not be alive anymore? Is that what the vibe was? That he's been hidden away or something similar?
But Sister Valia told us to talk to him.
Well, yeah, that's she's saying that, Father Marsh is hip and cool and come visit him. And this thing saying that he might not be there. So potentially this guy we might be looking for could be Father Marsh.
The ghost told you that his history is hidden here.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
I'm aware that there's a marsh street just on the other side of this river.
Mm.
Ooh. That's cool. Nice. All right. let's do something then. Well, yeah, can we spend a moment and just kind of like when she says here, I mean, we're referring to this location or in the entire city?
We dig.
We start digging.
She is on the corner of what looks like it could be at least part of the university. You know, old buildings, gargoyles, all of that stuff.
Yep.
Is that on the northeast corner of Lafayette and Church Street?
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's start.
So that full block between Lafayette, Church, Martin, and Washington, it's full of streets. It may not go all the way up to Martin Street, but certainly between Lafayette and Washington and up from Church, it looks like there's a fair amount of building there.
So, yeah, we can assume that this is probably our university we're looking for. So,
yes. Let's
find a point of ingress and, start looking for our little chat.
Yeah, let's do it.
That's ingress.
Ingress.
I love that word. It's so good.
There is a gate through, like there's a wall around this area.
Sounds too easy. I think we need to climb up and go through the roof. It's the only option. Let's roll for it.
And behind the statue, there's a gate which leads into a courtyard, and then there are all the buildings around the courtyard. Kind of like one of those little walled suburbs, but not. There's one very much like it in Perth, but I don't know that any of you have been there that I can describe it to you.
It sounds very much like our Melbourne uni, a very similar feel. You got this weird gate.
If you have been to Perth, it's very much like the Notre Dame campus in Fremantle.
Okay, yeah, I've been there.
Yeah,
I have not.
All right. Well, let's go into the courtyard and maybe keep an eye out for a lit lantern or something like that. Is that
sure? Does the gate look rusted, particularly around the hinges?
The gate does not look terribly rusted. No, it looks like it's in reasonably good condition.
Okay.
It's a wrought iron gate. It is standing open at the moment.
Perfect. That means that my plan is no longer useful.
The old open door. Okay. Should we
Let's
perhaps
investigate?
Prop the door open so that it isn't shut behind us when the blood moon rises and we get trapped in here? Can I drag the mermaid statue over or something?
The statue's probably too heavy to drag.
Okay, yeah. Okay, I'll not worry about that. We'll find our way out.
Yeah, I believe in us. All it takes is a good die roll. Nice. All right, cool. So, let's creep on in. Let's do some creeping. Can you roll some prowess dice to try and get up in here without being seen?
Yeah, for sure.
Is that cool with everyone? We're all good.
Yeah, let's
roll some prowess.
Let's go sneaky style.
See this going wrong.
Yeah.
6.
It's gone wrong.
Yeah, it's gone wrong for me. Yeah.
It's 6 for me as well, and that's on my wolf die. Beast die, we're doing well. It's another 6.
Don't forget you've got 2 moon die now, Lachie.
Yeah. So that's great. Either would have been a moon die. So successful 6 on my moon die.
Yeah. Well, Garth is sneaking. Julian not sneaking, and Temperance also not sneaking. And
I'm trying.
Fabian, did you?
6. I'm sneaking.
Okay, you're sneaking. Fabian and Garth sneak into the courtyard like shadows in the mist. Garth and Temperance sneak into the courtyard more like a Monty Python skit.
I like this idea that we've just made, like Fabian and Garth managed to creep in really smoothly, and then as you two walk in, the gate just like
that's me. It's rusted.
Yeah. And Garth kind of turns around and goes, growls, and like these, sharp, teethy fangs are starting appearing. That's
happening.
Do I get another moon day? Is that a thing? I mean, how does?
Nothing appears to happen.
Good,
Don't worry,
good.
I'll tell you.
Okay, cool. You're in charge of that. Awesome. So that's that. And
So does our map show the buildings that are on the one that you've given to us and that one of them is marked marsh? Or are those not the buildings we're talking about?
we're looking, if you look up in between where it says Newbury Port at the top,
Yeah.
we're in that block, aren't we? Where it's got all the rectangles.
Yeah, well,
Gilman
the
Marsh.
grey,
Yes,
the grey
got
rectangles.
grey rectangles. You may be looking at the old version of the map.
Okay. I may be
Temperance.
looking at the old version of the map. Dang it.
Yes,
Okay.
which had some things on it that should not have been on it, and
Oh,
some
whoops.
things not on it that should have been on it.
I forget I ever saw the thing.
That's all right. I had to do a quick last-minute fix because I thought I'd already done that, and
All
I
right.
had
Oh, good. I'll go
not.
back to the old one as well so I can get some clue.
No. Okay. Well, there's some buildings and none of them is marked marsh.
No. Although
Let's definitely not explore the second one from the south.
you
All right.
do see a building that is labelled Marsh in this courtyard, in much the way that many university buildings are named after people who have donated to the university or been involved in opening, building, or being alumni from that particular faculty. There is a Marsh building, which is clearly labelled as such, and the door of the Marsh building opens because Julian and Temperance were particularly loud in their sneaking.
What are you
Guys.
talking about? I was so quiet.
And it's a black cat.
Like a ninja.
No, cutie. It is not a black cat. It is instead a slightly odd-looking old man who's just wearing an old-fashioned suit, and he opens the door and looks out quite suspiciously and stares at you for a minute. And when you don't immediately do anything, he sighs, opens the door a bit wider, and gestures you to come inside.
Yeah, Garth finishes his growl at Temperance and Julian and turns back, straightens his posture. Oh, thank you, good sir, kind sir. May I ask who we have the pleasure of addressing? As he slowly walks towards this open door.
Where are we?
Mr. Where are we? It's an absolute.
Yes. Jonathan, where are we? Specifically.
Oh, yes, I hear good things about the long line of Where Are We family. It's
It does have a long history in other places. We've only been in Hellower for 3 generations, though.
Where were you before that?
We were down the coast.
Oh, yes, excellent. The good
Inverness?
And then after the family married from Where Are We to Where Are You or Where Were You? It's good. It's fun.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, Jonathan, where are we? It is an absolute pleasure. Pardon our intrusion upon your fine establishment.
It's all right. That's what libraries are for.
Oh, this is a library. Yes. Thank you. We're actually looking for a little bit of information and maybe some rest. It is a blood moon, as you might know. It's not yesterday. May we come in for a slight...
I do know that it's not yesterday.
Yes. Well, I was sadly mistaken. Please allow us to come in. Julian, Temperance, if you'd be so kind as to stop squeaking the gate and follow Fabian and myself inside this humble abode of library books.
The scales jingle conspicuously as he brushes past Mr. Where Are We?
Now, as my origin troubled childhood, I can tell when someone's lying. Is his name actually Jonathan?
It absolutely is.
Oh, good. I'm really insulted.
So were you looking for anything in particular? It's an interesting time of the month to choose to do research.
Oh,
Shall I
yes.
assume that this is very specific research that you're doing?
Oh, absolutely. And I will let my friend Fabian here tell you all about it as we go about our business. Taps Fabian on the back.
Yes. Yes. So this building's called Marsh. Why is it called Marsh?
Well, it's named after one of the founders of Hellower,
Oh,
Grimbald Marsh.
Grimbald Marsh. What kind of fellow is he?
Well, by all accounts, not a very nice one.
Oh, why is that?
I didn't know the man personally, obviously. Hellower was founded hundreds of years ago, but Grimbald was the grandfather of the Mad Priest. Didn't you know?
Oh.
No. Garth, write that down.
Grimbald and his companions founded the city, and they built the university. And then his son, whose name has been lost to posterity, was one of our first students, and then left to take his mastery elsewhere and returned to Hellower. And then there was the Mad Priest, who cursed us all.
Yes.
And then there were my parents who moved here, even though the city is cursed and everyone knows that, which I will never understand.
Yes.
So your parents moved here after the curse?
Grandparents, actually, but yes, three
So
generations in Hellower.
You yourself are not cursed?
Well, I was born here, so I am cursed. I just try to stay indoors all the time.
What is
Safest.
what is the aspect of this curse? Do you have a secret head or something?
No. Some of us join the deep ones, the sirens, you know.
The
You don't know.
sirens? No.
You know about the sirens.
I hold up my hand, which is wearing a siren bracelet. I know more than I'd like.
We did learn about the sirens at the start of the session. Like, just so you're aware. Do you recall that? They're the ones who come out of the scene. Yeah, good. Just
Yeah.
wasn't sure whether it was a player thing or a character.
Yeah, no, it's a character thing. He's pretty oblivious. Sirens. Oh, there's sirens here. Do you have police cars?
What? What are
Sirens.
you talking about?
You know, sirens go on as police cars go by. Is that what you're talking about?
No, I'm talking about the murderous fish people who come out of the ocean.
Oh, they sound ghastly.
I certainly think they are, but there's a certain look to the people of Hellower. You'll see it if you meet enough of them. It's because they've interbred with the sirens, generations worth.
Does that mean you're part siren too?
No. As I said, my family's only been here 3 generations. We're not high enough status to be desired by the sirens.
My father
Certainly.
was a police car, a different kind. Sorry.
And so-
totally ruining the moment.
What was the Mad Priest's name? Something Marsh?
Almost certainly. It's been forgotten or removed from all the history books.
And so the current Father Marsh that we've heard about, Inware Marsh,
Yes, the
is
Apostle of the Deep Ones.
the Apostle of the Deep Ones. We've heard that
He's the one who first offered sacrifices to the sirens here. It hadn't been done for over a century. And then he found some tribe who was doing the same thing when he was doing missionary work in the Caroline Islands. Trade sacrifices, just an animal here and there, and you get all the fish you can possibly want and everything else the ocean can give you too. He didn't know about the curse.
Does this type of action reflect any information we heard about the Apostle of the Mad Priest?
You don't really have much information about the Apostle of the Mad Priest, but it's plausible.
Okay, cool.
Can't you tell Garth if he's lying anyway?
Yeah, well, I mean, I can tell where if I actually went and met Inware, I could probably question him and get some information. But I think I want to ring my bell, and while these guys are being distracting, because that's what I requested of them. And
I'm very good at it.
I want to ring my bell and summon my ghosty boy and say, "Hey, what's hidden here?" Within the library.
As you go to ring your bell, Jonathan stops you. He puts his hand on your hand and says, I will thank you not to do that kind of thing indoors. If you must consort with spirits, go outside with the rest of the feral population.
So what I'm hearing is my distraction of Fabian didn't work. Yes. Is there a particular reason as to why you don't want any spirits summoned within your walls?
I got really tired of cleaning up the ectoplasm. And half the time you summon ghosts, it brings the undead in, especially on a blood moon. Have you people not done this before?
Oh, yes. It's just the ones that we tend to summon are much more accommodating than that of the regular riffraff you might have coming in here to sell drugs in the back alleys. You know, we can assure you that we only sell high-quality heroin.
yes, we just deal with a better class of ghosts. Yes,
we do have a large amount of training
on summoning ghosts inside the library. You may go down to the crypt, and that is the only place I will accept ghost summoning. It's already full of ectoplasm.
Can I confirm with everything that he said that he wasn't lying?
He is not lying.
Excellent.
He genuinely thinks that ghosts are just dirty, mucky things he doesn't want in a library.
That's fine.
He genuinely doesn't know the name of Marcius.
I will...
No, he doesn't know the name of the mad priest.
Nod my head and very well. And may I know the direction of this crypt you mentioned?
He points to a set of stairs in one corner of the library. It's nice. A dark, narrow set of stairs that goes downwards, disappears into the floor.
I look back to the group and say, if I don't return within 10 minutes, you can probably assume I rolled a 1 to 3 on my resolve check. I start heading downstairs.
Should we perhaps not? Perhaps you should take someone with you.
Very well. Julian, come with me, if you'd be so kind.
Oh, certainly.
Nice. You can. Yeah, and so we'll, head down the winding stairs to the ectoplasm-filled crypt.
Can Fabian and I continue questioning the librarian as well in the meantime?
Absolutely. So Garth and Julian head down the winding stairs into the crypt, which, by the way, is full of phosphorescent fungi and shelves full of ancient, kind of slightly falling apart looking books. So basically like any library cellar.
Great.
You do have the option of reading any of the books or tasting the fungi if you wish.
Well, I mean, maybe if we can just give a hint of, spice to our heroin, the mushroom thing. I can only assume that the reason we can convert our blood into bullets is due to the copious amounts of heroin in our blood. That said, I do wish to try and summon my ghost instead of tasting the fungi and, ask what is hidden here.
All right. You can summon your ghost. Mm-hmm. The ghost that you get, the ghost that you get appears to be a snake with a human head. Basically, your classic D&D Naga.
I like it, yeah.
Its head is the same size as an actual human's head, so the snake body is equivalently large.
Oh, nice. So it's not just a really big head on a small body, it's all in proportion?
No, it's all in proportion.
I like it. The idea it's, like the whole body's curling around the shelving on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
It's good. Nice.
It is slightly translucent and it is glowing slightly blue.
Good day. Naga, I assume. Do you have a name that you go by?
It just hisses at you. Excellent. You don't know if that's its name or if it's just hissing.
I am struggling to pronounce that, but I'm looking for potentially, something hidden within this area. Is there something you can see that I cannot?
Blood and salt water.
Oh, excellent. Let's do that sweet little prowess roll. Is it prowess? Yeah,
It's
resolve.
It's resolve. Yeah.
Oh, that's my best.
Don't forget you have 2 moon die.
Oh yeah, and let's just do a sneaky little push action. What do you say? Let's roll those 4 dice.
Yeah.
No.
46. Oh, a 6. 1, 2, 1, 6. It's not my moon die. Glad I spent that.
Yeah. All right. So you want more information?
Yeah, the blood and salt water. Where would this blood and salt water be located specifically?
It kind of coils up with its complete lack of arms and points its face towards one of the shelves and just stares fixedly at that particular shelf. 3 books in from the left.
I give it a pat on the side of the face. My hand slowly seeps inside it. Good dog. And I go over and unhinge this chain that's wrapped up around the book and open up through it. Start glancing through the pages. Julian, if you'd be so kind as to watch my back and make sure that this thing doesn't try and rip my head off while I'm not looking. I personally, as a character, don't know what I rolled.
So 2 things here. 1, you need to make a resolve check for reading this book. And 2, behind the book on the shelf, there is a small metal box.
Okay. I will toss the box over to Julian and say, this check through this for me and I'll start flicking through this book.
I'm going to try and pop the box open.
Okay, it's not locked. You can get it open.
Delightful. What do I see?
Inside the box, there are 3 glass vials. 1 is full of a clear liquid and 2 are full of pretty clearly blood.
That sounds like salt water and blood, maybe. Just putting it out there.
Just maybe. It's possible.
I'll roll this for my opening of the book. A 6 on my moon die.
A 6. You get +1 insight.
Woohoo! I like it. Great. That's a thing.
That is a thing.
So I'm going to load the files back into the box because that way, they're presumably packed for transport in this box. So give them a little bit of a lesson.
Yeah, good idea.
Okay, so let's head back to Fabian and Temperance, who were questioning the librarian.
Yes. Go ahead.
No, so this Inware Marsh, do you know where he would be at this time of the blood moon? We ran into someone earlier who said he might be helpful to talk to.
He generally moves between the various congregations.
Sorry.
Speaks to the sirens, and then he'll be performing a ritual at one of the churches. It depends which one he's decided on this time around.
How do we know?
I believe it's a big ritual.
Do we have any way of finding out which church he chooses, or is it completely random?
Well, I'm certain that he has a system, but it's not really clear what it is. Certainly, I don't go to his rituals. I try to avoid him whenever possible. Never know when he will actually take the transformation and go and join his ancestors in the deep. So you know that's what happens, right? All these folk who are part siren, they're normal for a period of time and then they transform and go back to the water.
And so the statue at the front of the university displayed the sea creature as a beauteous woman with the tail of a fish. Is that what these sirens look like?
It's not what I think they look like, but standards of beauty vary, I suppose. Definitely
what are they like?
No fishtails. They walk.
Are they large? Do they have claws?
They're much like humans. I mean, I wouldn't want to get close enough to one that could sink its claws into me. I certainly don't want to be having any half-siren babies.
Oh, but I thought that you were not of enough note to be attractive to the sirens.
Doesn't mean they'll stay away necessarily if I go and put myself in their path.
So they are lusty creatures.
They want to take over the surface world. You don't seem to grasp that. The more half-siren babies they have, the more soldiers they have. They'll take anyone.
So I look quite uncomfortable at all this mention of babies and sex. My priestly robes might give you a clue that this is not a subject I'm comfortable with. So I kind of like look at Fabian a bit awkwardly.
Yeah, I'll take it from here, Temperance. So can you help us at all?
What do you need help with? You were looking for information on what was your research topic again?
We'll have to find this Marsh guy.
Well, I certainly don't know where he is now. I can tell you where he's been historically. I can tell you. No, I probably can't tell you very much about him. There are books about him. There's a whole book about his trip to the Caroline Islands. He was a missionary.
I would love to learn more about this island where he got the idea of sacrifice. Can you point me to the book?
Yep, the librarian will go and you can follow him down through the stacks. He'll rummage around and get a couple of books off of shelves. And there's a whole section on the history of Hellower. And there is indeed a very fancy book bound in red leather, gold lettering, that is the account of Inwer Marsh's missionary expeditions to the Caroline Islands and elsewhere.
Can I do some kind of a check potentially? And you know, my character is scanning the books with their like vast knowledge of research from their like religious background to see which texts might be most useful and to sort of in a short period of time try and discover information.
So what do you want to find out?
I'm wanting to find out more about the nature of the sacrifice and anything to do with ritual that he might have learned or be undertaking.
Yeah. If you want to, it's probably a wit roll to sort of scan through the books and get that information.
Yeah. I'll spend a stamina so I can roll another die and push through. So 2 6s. Both of them. One of them at least is a moon die.
So are you using the moon die?
Yeah, the moon die is being used.
Really? Have you... Can I ask why?
Because to get the success, do I need to use both 6s? Or
if you wanted, you could use 2 to get a critical success.
Yeah, which is what I wanted.
Okay, cool. Good, makes sense. Go.
Yep. So good. All right. So the information that you're looking for is Inwer Marsh went off to be a missionary to these islands, and he found a tribe of people who made sacrifices to immortal fish gods that they worshipped, and they called them the deep ones or the sirens, and they seemed to be a very mutually beneficial relationship. They weren't actually gods. This tribe just thought they were, but they sacrificed animals to them and they got lots of fish and the occasional pearl or fancy shell or things from the deeps. So he spoke to these people and got information from them about these rituals. And the tribesfolk also interbred with these deep ones, which they regarded as a high honor, you know, having children with the gods, which everyone again was very happy with the situation. The children would grow up human, and at some point they would change into one of the gods and go and join them in the sea. So Marsh brought the story back when he came back to Hellower. And when Hellower fell on hard times because the curse became active, his cult began doing similar sacrifices to these sea creatures in the exchange for wealth in the form of hauls of fish and, again, shells and pearls, sometimes jewelry. And they made a compact with the sea creatures. And everything that's written, it sounds like Marsh genuinely believed that this would be the same kind of minor, mutually beneficial agreement that the tribespeople of the islands had. He didn't realize that these sea creatures that he made a compact with were the same ones who were involved with the curse on Hellower. And so he tried to stop, but the sirens didn't let him. So he and his following, his cult, they stopped giving sacrifices to the sirens. And these sacrifices, again, they were like, send a cow or a horse to be eaten by sea creatures. The sea creatures came up onto land into the city and attacked and killed half the population. So the survivors continued the sacrifices because the alternative was death. And over time, because Marsh appears to have been alive for a long time, this book, if the dates are right, he should be the age of like Jonathan's grandparents.
Wow.
And he's still out doing the same thing. The original Werewolves who moved into the city.
Wow.
And the sirens have some kind of design on the surface world, which is, this is put at the very end of one of the books. It's handwritten in as a warning. Jonathan will tell you that he believes Marsh is part siren himself and will be transforming at some point. So it's hard to know exactly what's going on with him now.
Good crit. Nice job.
Yeah. Well done.
What a lore dump.
Indeed.
Awesome. Great time to roll critical for sure.
At this point, Garth and Julian, you are still down in the crypt. Are you coming back up? Are you bringing some glowing fungi? Are you bringing books?
Just
Yeah, I mean, I read the book and got my insight, which is just lovely. But I think I'll question Julian and say, so what did you find in the case?
No, just 3 glass vials. One had water in it, perhaps, and the other 2 had perhaps blood.
And the book I read didn't make actually any information. It was just all.
It was really weird ritual information, instructions on exactly how to flay a living rabbit in order to offer it to something, and you don't know if the something is a god or a demon or what, because the name is one you've never seen before. It's pretty horrific, actually.
Nice.
You can see why the book was in the crypt
Sealed
and
up.
chained shut.
Well, curious. I didn't see any reference to blood or water within the thing, but well, thankfully it must be somewhat important if this, Naga was willing to part with it. Perhaps we should head back upstairs and make sure that the others are, getting information themselves.
The diagrams of the rabbit do make your beast self a little hungry.
Yeah, he's just drawing out the side. Yeah, we should probably go. You hungry? So we'll wander back up the stairs together, discussing good kebab locations within the town of Holloway City.
You get up in time for the end of the lore dump.
Yep.
Warning. Inwer Marsh may be a siren.
Yeah, nice. Oh, we too also found some blood and water, didn't we, Julian? I mean, see, that's almost as important as the law dump.
You keep telling yourself that, Garth.
So I think you'll walk up hearing the end of it. It says, so what is this about a siren and Marsh?
Well, one and the same.
Well, I guess our job as hunters is to put an end to him.
It's certain that he is the apostle, so he is the one we seek. But Jonathan, where are we? Doesn't know where he is.
Well, I believe that Sister Valia did mention that he'll be making an appearance at the, what's it called? New church, the church where she was heading?
Yeah,
Mhm.
the Mason's Hall.
Looks like we have a place to go to then.
Well, everyone, ready your weapons. It's been an absolute pleasure. Jonathan, where are we? And thank you for your time. I will tip my hat.
Thank you, Jonathan.
A pleasure.
Yep, and we wave out, and it might be wise to get that gate fixed. It's a little squeaky, and we'll continue on out and make our way to slaughter a religious head figure of an entire religion. It's great.
So you, where are you going from here? So you're back on the corner of, what's it, Church and Lafayette,
Yep.
where you came in?
So they said that the church was on the corner, the Mason's Hall was on the corner of Church and Federal Street. Was that right?
Yep.
Yes.
So perhaps we should wander down to Federal Street. How's the sun looking? Is it pretty low now?
It's pretty low now. You were in the library for a good half hour or so. So somewhere the moon is rising and the sun is getting low and starting to set. The street lights have been lit. Not that they're helping very much.
Yeah, so I would suggest that we all pull out our weapons, have them ready and be on extra guard.
I've always got my weapon ready. What are you talking about?
Can we do a prowl group action or something equivalent?
Yep.
We always have to roll prowl, don't we? There isn't anything. Oh, what's a setup? Form a setup action to support indirectly another hunter?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
a good one.
That's the standard from Blades in the Dark. You have a setup.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was wondering whether we can do a setup for a group thing if we all chain it. Chain the setup. One person rolls it and then the next, etc. But it doesn't matter.
I mean, if you want to do a group action, I'll just allow you to do it as a group action. Everybody rolls. The group takes the highest roll, but for everyone in the group who rolls a 1 to 3, the person leading takes 1 harm. If they
harm, not stamina.
You don't have enough.
I've got no stamina. I literally have none.
Yeah, I have no stamina either. Like, no, getting my weapon out.
Have to rely on.
I have 1.
Yeah, you can probably use stamina and then take blood as harm, but yeah. Or you can just.
Yeah, you know what? I'm willing to lead it. All right, so I can see that.
Right.
Temperance failed already, so that'll be 1 harm. Anyone else want to roll for this bad boy?
What are we rolling again?
A prowess.
Prowess.
Oh, I'm good at that. Yes. 3d6.
So I had to use my beast die, my moon die again. By the way.
Yeah, you did.
5.
All right.
I genuinely believe it's a bad idea if I try to help.
Yeah.
Well, but it's more. You take the highest one out of the group, so even if it's just so that we can all be sneaky when approaching.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
It's
Okay, I'm gonna spend a stamina to give me possible.
I just got a 6, which so I've got a 6 now, which is great. So that's our roll for success. It just means how much damage I'll take in the process.
Did you get a 6? Because
that was your total. Yeah.
Sorry, I was looking up. I scrolled up. I got a 2 and a 4. That's good.
Come on, Fabian, you better roll well.
Yeah, just roll a 6.
I got a 5.
No pressure. That's
all right. So a 5, you are all sneaky, but there is a consequence. And
Lots of consequences.
no, it's only one consequence because 5 is the roll for all of you. But in that group, there were 2 rolls of 3, which means that
2 bloods.
Yeah.
Feeling that pain. I've
You
got
must
2
be
left.
running pretty low.
Yeah, we've got 2 left.
Ooh.
So if our party suffers a consequence, can we all recover 1 stamina?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I'll allow it.
Yay.
I'll take that. Excellent. Good. I've got 1 stamina again. I'll live forever.
I know. Yeah, I think we're similar stat.
So
Okay.
you are
And
sneaking-
keep in mind that oh yeah, we didn't. Did my 4? Both of those were moon died.
Yeah.
We didn't end up using it. Is that how we're going to roll it?
yeah, you didn't end up using it, so I
Yeah.
won't count it.
Cool. Nice.
But Temperance, you did use your moon die on your previous roll, so
Yeah.
you're now up to 2 moon die as well.
Are we feeling any different?
Not yet.
We're bestial buddies. That's power to us.
You're just wolf friends.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
sure.
we're friends. Our bark is as bad as our bite.
Nothing
Right.
weird about that at all.
Nice. So we're going to sneak up to the this city and
Yes. The Masonic Hall, I'm assuming we're going to.
Masonic Hall.
Yeah, corner of Federal and Church, right?
Let's go.
All right. So the Masonic Hall. The Masonic Hall is pretty hard to miss. It's a big arched building with a very large door in the side. But although it does have a Masonic sign above the door, there's a little plaque next to the door that says Esoteric Order of Dagon. The door is locked, but there is chanting or singing coming from inside.
Was that esoteric something of Plagon?
Esoteric Order of Dagon.
Order.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, I mean, should we simply knock? Is that the plan? I mean, we're actually invited to go in.
We
so-
do have an invite, seems, at this point. We have very little time before the blood moon, so
All right. Well,
Yeah.
if you'd be so kind, allow me, and I'll, take my what have I got? A mallet, which I've been wielding, and knock on the door with it. Duk, duk, duk.
Okay. You knock on the door with your mallet. After a few moments, you hear footsteps on the other side and then the click of locks unlocking, bolts being drawn, and then the door opens. And there is a tall, pale gentleman, looks a bit like Lurch, standing there.
Excellent. All right, we unload all our bullets into him. No, we look at. Oh yes, good sir, kind sir. We've been invited to attend your little soiree shindig by Sister Valia, and would she be around currently?
She's with the others.
Ah,
Come in.
yes. Oh, thank you. Too good, too kind. What would your names be, good sir?
You don't need my name.
Was that a lie?
I mean, he thinks it's the truth.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I mean, you wouldn't happen to be Father Inward Marsh at all, would you?
No, I'm afraid not.
is he here in this congregation at the moment?
No,
Mr. Valia
he'll,
said we might speak with him at some stage.
he'll be at the cathedral now.
Oh, okay.
Moon's rising.
Well, then perhaps we might head there.
Oh, yes. So we were actually looking to hopefully meet Father Inward Marsh. I mean, if he isn't going to be attending, would you be so kind as to let us leave? I'm sorry to barge in and then barge back out again, but it's like time is money, and we have places to go. And I mean, look at the moon rising. We'll be dead before morning. So let's make this quick. No, thank you, good sir, kind sir. You were right in us not having to know your name. I'll give you a pat on the shoulder.
That's fine. Off you go then. Don't delay the sirens.
Yes, of course. Those mean old cop cars. Continue on. So I'll gesture everyone to get out.
So
you all troop back out of the Masonic Hall.
And then we head down Federal Street to...
Yeah, down Federal Street and on to the town square to the cathedral.
Okay. Down Federal Street is fairly straightforward, and there's even a bridge.
Bizarre.
The bridge actually lifts you high enough that in the last of the afternoon sunlight, you can see off to your left, there is another bridge with just a bridge. And off to your right, there is half a bridge.
Oh, lovely.
So Washington Street might not have been the best place to try crossing.
Oh, excellent.
Well, all's well that ends well. Are there any of those three-eyed seagulls about?
Heaps of them.
Okay.
The flock of three gulls does appear to have been following you this whole time. They're circling and screaming. They don't seem to be distressed by the sun going down, and you can actually see the moon starting to rise on the horizon from here as well.
Okay, I pick up my pace somewhat, not caring terribly much if the others keep up with me.
All right. You get to the town square. Temperance, you are somewhat ahead of the others. You can still see them if you look back, but only just. What is everyone else doing as Temperance hurries ahead?
I think Garth is going to just kind of sit down and start scratching his ear with his foot. Yeah, weird itch behind his ear. I think he'll switch back to the rifle and just make sure that the three gulls aren't, going to come and swarm us from behind again. That's his goal.
That's fair.
I'm trying to keep up, trying my best.
Roll for trying your best. Do you want to do wit or?
Yeah. Fabian is following Temperance, arguing further about their previous battles.
The sun was in my eye. We're indoors.
I demand a rematch, and this time one arm is behind your back.
We'll see who gets the apostle Fabian.
You can see on the other side of the town square, there is a very large and ornate church with a steeple that rises up into the fog and is catching the light of the setting sun. So it's kind of glittering. But as you cross the town square between you and the church, which I presume is your objective.
Yep.
There is at one point it was probably a fountain. It's a stone basin, large like pool, but instead of water in it, there is what looks disturbingly like a beehive, that dome-shaped beehive built of bones, all different kinds of bones.
Gross.
Yeah. And in between the bones, there is black translucent honeycomb, just kind of holding them all together. It looks like a giant something that's been thrown up by an owl or an unwell cat. It's just like this giant hacked up furball.
Right,
it's really horrible.
Right, does anyone see that? I don't see that at all. Let's go around that.
Yeah.
And there are bees swarming around it in the fog. You can hear them buzzing.
Run. Do they seem at all aggressive? Is it like, are they noticing us?
I mean, they're clearly aware of you. Beehives are very good at being aware of anyone who comes near them. They don't sound overly aggressive at this point. Yeah, okay. Beehive in the middle of the town square probably is used to people walking past. often
Okay.
quickly whilst not looking.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Well, yeah.
Fabian's out of there. No, not dealing with this. No.
Couldn't even fight a girl. Get lives to a bee. No, it's good. So we'll sneak past the giant, massive beehive and try and make our way over to the cathedral.
All right. As you sneak past the beehive, glancing aside to make sure that you don't touch it or go too near to it, you see that there's something or someone half entombed in the wax. Are you still going to just keep a wide berth and avoid them?
Do they look alive, or is it very dead? Or, I mean, is there any way they can survive?
It doesn't look like it could be alive. It's got tiny bee-like snails hatching from its corpse, but its fingers twitch occasionally.
Awesome.
Not our problem.
Yes, I think that might be next week's visit. We'll deal with that, and in the meantime, we'll take care of the reason we were sent. Tip my hat to him. Yeah, good day, sir. And
All right. So you thoroughly avoid the beehive and you cross to the entrance to the cathedral.
Yep.
So as we get close to the cathedral, can I sort of voce, kind of, what's the plan? Are we just going to go in there? Do we create a distraction, or is it just a frontal assault?
All right. Well, here's a potential option. We have one person knock on the door. We have another person take these fire bombs and throw them all at the beehive. And we just try and, make a nice... And then as soon as we get their attention, we run into the cathedral. We let the bees take care of everything else, and we escape out a back window. All we've got to do is slaughter all the innocent people in this building who seem to worship it. They all know the issue now that sacrificing items and cows and things to these sirens provides some good to them, and I can't have that word getting out. So I figure we just wipe out all of them, remove the knowledge, and then problem solved.
Yes, well, I'd rather not tangle with the bees, Perhaps we could just throw a few fire bombs into the cathedral?
Yes, but we have to make sure that we physically take down. I mean, yes, we could use the potential firebomb as a distraction to lure out this father in-where, but we need to figure out who this father in-where is.
First, yeah, well, I'm happy to go in. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. Does anyone else want to wait out here ready to, I'm happy to be the distraction.
Yes, I don't mind. I'll head on in, and I'm going to hand my 4 firebombs and use up all my items and give them to 2 of them to Fabian and 2 of them to Julian.
Oh, nice.
There you go. Just take good care of these. Be careful. Don't trip over. They're extremely fragile.
Now, if Father Marsh is the Dark Apostle,
yes.
how will we know how to destroy him?
Well, I assume the fire would do a good start.
I think that potentially the blood and seawater that you are bearing might have more significance than we can understand now, but I don't know how we could find out what that significance could be.
Don't forget, out of character, your goal wasn't necessarily to kill the apostle. Your goal was to stop him from doing whatever he's doing.
Yeah.
I think that's one and the same.
It could be, but don't forget that you don't necessarily have to kill him to stop him.
Okay, so your firebomb seems... wonder whether potentially...
What I'm saying is if you fail to kill him, that doesn't mean you failed.
Okay.
We've also just stopped him this time. There's nothing to stop him sacrificing someone else tomorrow. Yeah, cool.
I wonder whether those vials were hidden, right? There's something precious and hidden. And I wonder whether if all else goes wrong, you should just destroy those, Julian. Maybe that would do something.
Okay, so if all else goes wrong, I will destroy these bottles.
I don't know. Is that or something else we could do with them? Drink them.
We do drink blood vials. That is a humble thing to do.
All right.
So what's
whatever
the
you want
plan?
to do. I think that we're going in, right, Garth?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's.
I'm going to
All right.
start scribbling potential ways that you can harm things on pieces of parchment and get my bill out.
Oh, I like it. No, that's good.
Yeah.
So I'm going to weigh up where are they vulnerable? Is that what I want? How can I hurt them? How can I hurt them is what I'm going to ask the spirit. And I'm going to weigh up all of the different options I can think of, including fire bombs and acid bombs and bees. I'm writing down
Bees,
everything.
yes.
I love the way you use your scales. It's so good.
So you're writing all the possible ways to hurt people. And your question is, how can I harm them?
Yeah, how can I harm Father Marsh? It's bees, isn't it?
I mean, the bees do appear to weigh slightly more than any of the other options, but the scales are
That's what I thought.
wobbling quite a lot. It's like several of those options would probably work to do him some harm. Probably none of them by themselves, if that makes sense.
Flaming bees, gotcha.
Yes, flaming bees. Yes.
Bees with fire bombs. That's
There we
the only
go.
way.
It's the only way.
It
Yes.
looks like we will need to use a combination of means to destroy this evil.
Oh man, maybe we should have used a smoke bomb to subdue the bees and catch them and let them loose in the
There's
cathedral.
still time.
There's still time, yes.
I think
For those two, we're already walking inside.
yeah, where we're like,
Let's push the door open. Step in
You-
the room.
Well,
So who is currently going inside? Garth is
Oh,
going inside.
And temperance.
Temperance.
We're going to hang back with the bombs at the ready.
Okay.
subdue and catch
Destroy the
some
box.
bees. Get some bees.
You're going to.
Yeah.
All right, Kirsty, here's our plan. We just have to fail as many moon rolls as possible, use as many moon dice right now. And then at that point,
Then
we
go
switch
full wolf.
the full wolf and just slaughter everyone. Come out covered in blood. Be like, "He wasn't
Maybe I'll get my
there."
stamina back. All right.
All right. So you walk into the cathedral through its wide open doors, and the first thing you notice is that the stained glass windows along all the walls of that main hall somehow are brightly lit from outside. It's like the fog doesn't affect them, and they're just shining with reflected moonlight and the glow from the sunset. And it's all weird, disturbing images of the ritualistic eating of mermaids
Oh,
to gain immortality, and then vengeful destruction from some kind of kraken from the deep.
not the Krakens.
Yep. And at the front of the hall, there's an altar which has got something on it. It's hard to tell from here what it is, but it looks like a chunk of meat. And then there's a door that goes further into the cathedral, and you can hear chanting from further inside the cathedral.
Is there anyone standing at the altar?
No, this hall is empty. No
Okay.
one in it at all.
Then perhaps I'll just going to motion with my head at the altar and just go and investigate. Is it a flayed rabbit? Or...
It's not a flayed rabbit. It is a chunk. The meat itself looks like animal meat, like it's from a mammal, but it's got scales on the outside, like a fish.
Garth is still drooling at the idea of the kebabs from before and it's looking at the meat like,
Well, it's got to taste better than that blood.
that's it. I mean, look, I think Temperance, I think our only option is to take this with us. It seems like the safest option. Hey, let me put this in my bag.
Okay. So what's the plan, Garth? Are we going to pretend to be worshippers, devotees of the Marsh family, or?
Well, I think our best option could potentially be to have a slight sample platter of this meat and then we continue on.
Sure, you eat the meat. Okay.
No, look, the reward after we've done it. It's only fair. I say that we continue in there and we'll lay out the situation. I mean, so far, if it's just a religious and he doesn't know what he's doing is so wrong, we might just be able to come in here and put a bullet between his eyes. But I think the best idea is to get the lay of the land. So maybe we continue through and we'll come back out and see what these two are up to on the outside.
Okay, sure.
All right. So the two of you are continuing further in.
Yeah.
Fabian and Julian, are you still waiting on the outside with your firebombs, or are you going to follow them inside?
I think we'll just wait here, just right at the precipice, I think.
Okay. So
I'm going to put my lantern a little bit further away. Like I'm going to ignite it and put it somewhere a little bit further away from the entrance of the cathedral, possibly in front of the fire station.
okay.
Okay.
Nice.
Cool.
All right. We'll want to do a prowl roll and try and sneak our way in.
Sure.
I
Go
mean,
full beast.
Absolutely. Yeah. Go full
I might do
beast.
mine with resolve and try and act like I'm meant to be there. Like, what do you
Okay.
think of that?
Yeah. You're already in the priestly robes.
Yeah.
If you're going with that plan, resolve's better for me too.
I'm just going to act like I'm meant to be.
Yeah, that was our plan. We're trying to be cool kids.
So 5, and it's my moon
5.
die.
Yeah, me too.
In fact, they're just about all
5 and my moon
these
die.
days.
All right. You both wander in. You feel a little kind of tingle across your skin, just some kind of extra sense of something not quite right as you cross the threshold. And in the next room, which is the sort of inner sanctum of this cathedral, there is a circle on the floor inscribed in some kind of black waxy stuff. And around the circle, there are a crowd of people. Now, Temperance, you may not, in fact, be a priest, but you at least know a bit about them so that you can fake it better.
Oh, yes.
These look like initiates. They're not full-on priests or anything. They're wearing novice robes. All of them have their heads uncovered, and half of them look really odd. Like they're bald and slightly blue-green in color, not normal human colored, and kind of scaly with weirdly flat, really fish-looking faces.
Okay.
But they're all just chanting and walking in circles around the wax circle, all of them together, humans and not quite humans.
How many of them are there? And is there anyone in the room who appears to be higher up than an initiate?
There are 26 initiates. And
Whoa.
on the other side of that crowd, they're walking in interlocking circles around the wax circle, then stopping, bending down, drawing something on the floor, standing up, walking some more, chanting. None of them even look up at you. They all seem completely engaged in what they're doing. On the other side of the room, kind of standing, watching them, and therefore watching the two of you walk into the room, is a man in slightly better quality robes. These are dark burgundy, gold-trimmed. He doesn't look well. There's something just a bit weird about him. And on the side of his face, there's a patch where it almost looks like he has a skin disease. But if you look more closely, he has scales just on a few patches of his skin. And it's unclear whether the scales have been grafted on or his skin is peeling off and there's scales underneath, or if it's some other weird thing, but it doesn't look fun.
Ew.
And he's standing there quietly watching the initiates. And he has 3 creatures with him. They are surrounding him the way dogs would stand with their master, but they're giant crabs, like crabs the size of a Doberman.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Are there any like burning torches or anything inside this room?
There are not, no.
Okay.
There are some skylights and there's faint light coming in, which is increasingly red.
Yeah.
Awesome. Now, that I have to ask, we did get a consequence for doing that, yeah? Because I wanted to get some of my stamina back.
You did get a consequence. You
Don't know yet?
sneaked in very well, but you have been noticed by the
Excellent.
ritual itself
All right.
Okay.
as not belonging. And yes, you can have a stamina back.
Thanks. I'll lean over to Temperance and, do you think that's our man?
I'm just going to look at him like he's really not very clever.
His wit is one.
That's fair.
Okay, so can I just suss out with my wits potentially the markings on the floor? Is it just a circle? What are they drawing? And
It's a circle, but it's got, I'm just switching the light on over here.
I see.
The
blood moon has risen.
The blood moon has risen. Actually, I can change the color of it and turn it red. It's a plain circle, and then there are runes or symbols drawn around the outside of it. They're not in any language that you recognize. They're all angular and plugged in so it doesn't run out of battery. Angular and weird looking. And I mean, they're not completely unfamiliar to Garth. He has seen a book full of runes not dissimilar to these in the crypt of the library.
Ah.
Okay, cool. I've seen this marking before. It comes with nothing good. However, you might get an insight if you look at it for long enough.
What is the nature
that's
of our
probably
hand
fair.
lanterns? Are our hand lanterns, do they bear a flame and oil and such?
Yeah, they're a little oil lantern.
I mean, you could potentially have a firebomb on you.
Yeah, I do have a firebomb, but I don't know if I want bomb scale destruction. I guess I'd like to sort of dash my hand lantern on a part of the circle to try and melt the wax and the runes, to just disrupt, everything my past has taught me is that if you can break the circle or destroy the marks of power, then you will disrupt the ritual.
Yes, I believe that is something that I read within that book I saw earlier. Now,
Okay.
My earliest memories of a circle such as this, and I rescued myself from it by breaking the circle.
So this would be a wit roll because it's arcane if you're trying to break the circle.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay.
How about you? How about this? You break the circle, and I'll put a bullet between his eyes.
Okay, and I'll follow with another bullet once I'm done.
All right,
So
we do that.
You absolutely. You are on a penalty, like a -1 die for the witch roll, because using a hand lantern to try to break the circle is, at best, the wax will catch fire and melt.
Yeah.
But it's not the best tool for the job. So
otherwise what else destroys wax though? Fire evaporates, right? It volatilizes, whereas anything else would I have to scrape at it slowly. It feels like the best possible option. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to do it.
All right.
Spend that stamina. Have you got any?
Yeah, I'm going to spend a stamina. So, 5.
5. And that would be a moon die because you've got 2.
Yeah, they're all the moon dice. No.
All right. So a 5. You do manage to break the wax circle by setting it on fire. The entire circle of wax catches fire. But by doing this, you completely blow any cover that the 2 of you had. You no longer appear to belong there in any way.
Awesome.
And the 3 giant crab creatures rush over to attack you.
Love it.
Also, you have just done a thing with your beast clock. So you transform into a horrific kind of plague undead creature and lose control.
I told you shouldn't have broken the circle.
You can resist. You can resist this if you want. Otherwise, you're going to need to make a roll to see what happens.
Okay, I'm going to try and resist this. I think that seems like a good option, right? Oh, so my gosh.
You get 1 stamina back from the consequence of the previous roll.
Yeah.
Which is probably good because I think resist requires you to use stamina.
It does. So,
yeah.
Okay. Oh, a 6. Phew.
6. Oh, wow.
Oh.
It's a moon die, though. They're all moon die.
You can't, with resisting the moon die, you don't roll the moon die.
Okay, phew.
Amazing.
So you avoid the consequence. For a moment, your face changes, your jaw lengthens, and you snarl in this canine manner. And then you pull it all back inside. Not doing that right now. And you do not transform.
Awesome. While these crabs are running over, have I got an opportunity to shoot the guy?
You can absolutely attempt to shoot the guy.
I'm going to spend a couple of stamina. Let's
all
do
right.
it. Going back to no stamina remaining. 4d6. 2 of them are moon dies. Oh my God. 1, 3, 1, 2.
No.
What? Oh my God. But good news, I get a stamina back.
Yes, you do. You also get bitten by not 1, but 2 crab creatures.
Oh God, that is that like 2 blood right there?
Mm-hmm.
That will kill me.
Oh, no.
Do you want to resist?
I'm going to try and resist one of them.
I could use your armor as well, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There we go. Does the armor work for that?
Yeah, you got 2 spots in your armor.
2 spot to just take. I can take those 2 armors. Is that doable?
The crabs
avoid
just
the
rip
physical
your
harm
armor
for each.
off with their claws.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll do that. So my armor's gone. I'm standing there in a loincloth. Loincloth and glasses.
Shoot off your armor.
Oh, God, no.
And there are the crabs.
All right. I would like to run out the front. Guys!
you turn and flee.
Yes. I just yell out, lure them this way. And I'll get the 5 arms ready.
The same one was Jabberwocky.
Okay.
So I would have heard the gunshot and I would have left the door. I'm trying to chop the door open with my climbing tools. I would have left that and I would have run towards the gunshot.
All right. So Julian runs in as Garth runs out.
Yes.
Pursued by 3 crabs the size of dogs.
What was that Garth-shaped blur?
The crabs completely ignore Julian to continue to chase Garth.
Nice.
Julian, do you want to continue in or do you want to turn around and join Garth?
I think I want to take a swing at one of the crabs as it's trying to pass me.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. So this will be prowess. I'm going to spend 2 stamina. I'm going to spend an extra stamina to get an extra die.
Nice.
That's like a good plan because I'm not prowess full.
It doesn't matter. I was. It doesn't help.
4. That's good. That's good. I'm happy.
Yeah, 4. All right. You successfully. So you were attacking with your your special weapon.
It's just normal swing, basic swing, +1 die.
All right. You knock down the crab successfully.
Nice.
The crab is it's 2 legs down, so it now only has 4 instead of 6. It's slowed down significantly. However, the consequence, because you rolled a 4, is that you now have the attention of the 3 crabs. They're not just after Garth.
Oh, great.
Good.
Temperance, you are now alone in the room with all the initiates and Father Marsh. The initiates have immediately started repairing the break in the circle. And you notice that each of them is carrying a knife. So there are 26 initiates here, each of them with a knife in one hand and apparently with a black candle in their pocket, which they immediately get out, light on the fire that you've lit, and start melting to repair the circle. What are you going to do?
I'm going to walk over to Marsh and shoot him in the face.
Oh, I like it.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so
Use a silver bullet.
the silver bullet's just for reloading, right? So I can just use the stun. I'm going to try with 4d6, so use 4 of my bullets.
Okay.
Is that right?
Yep.
Is that how it works? You spend bullets for each die?
Oh, poops.
I think it's 1 die for every 2 bullets.
1 die for every 2 bullets.
Oh, 1 die. Okay. In that case, should I just roll that again? Or should we take the 2 lowest of that? Or what's the... Sorry, I misunderstood.
Roll it again.
Okay.
That's probably the fairest.
Sorry.
Nice.
And you got a better result. So that is a stun for sure. You managed to knock out Marsh.
On the moon die.
Yeah. So you transform unless you're going to resist it again.
I don't have any stamina left to resist it with.
This is good. This is good. You transform and then you eat his head.
So the outcome of the transformation. This is I'm going to make it a resolve check because the rules don't actually say which roll you make. Make me a resolve check to see what happens during your transformation.
Thank goodness it's resolve.
2, 1, and 3. Okay, so you run off, and the result for a 1 to 3 is no one important died. You return covered in blood. So for the rest of you, Temperance, you don't know what's happened to Temperance, but a giant wolf creature just dashes out through the cathedral doors past you, runs off into the streets, and about 10 minutes later comes back covered in blood and turns into Temperance.
We couldn't argue that all those initiates weren't important.
Sadly, no, they are actually important.
Damn it. All right.
Because Marsh is stunned and on the ground, but the initiates are continuing to chant. You can still hear them.
I'm going to run in and throw a firebomb.
Yeah, I mean, you're the only one around, really. I mean, Julian's there fighting a crab. I'm running away from 2 crabs. Temperance has disappeared out into the distance. For the next
I'm fighting all 3 of your crabs, I'll have you know.
Really? Do they all of them turn on you?
Yeah, they all turned on me.
I thought only one of them turned on you. All right, cool. That's great. Then I'm somewhat freer. I'm just outside of the beam.
Good for you.
Yeah.
They didn't all turn on you, Julian. One of them has continued to chase Garth. One of them's turned on you, and one of them's injured and is going to attack whoever's the least capable.
Got it.
Me.
But yeah, Fabian's going to run in and throw bombs at the initiates. Yeah.
All right.
Necklace.
So you run in, you throw your bombs.
How many bombs can I throw?
You can probably only throw 4. I know.
Well, I've got an extra 2.
You had.
Can I roll 6?
I mean, yeah. Why not? Why not?
Right, 6 fire bombs just come flying through the air.
So how did
hopefully not hitting Temperance. Oh no, Temperance has run out. Came back.
Temperance has run out to go and eat
Yeah,
someone.
okay, this is good. This is good. We're gonna burn this motherfucking down.
Burning down the house.
Burning down the house.
That was a song back in the early 2000s, wasn't it?
Yep.
So,
Do I roll for that?
I'm just trying to work out how the firebombs work.
I think it would probably give you a plus effect. That's how I would rule it. Right? I don't think it actually says, it's just stuff that you can use and then you flavor it to how you want to use it.
Yeah. Right. So what are you're trying to kill the initiates?
Yeah.
All right. Make a prowess check, and I mean, I guess you can have an extra 2 dice for throwing 6 bloody firebombs. That is overkill.
That is overkill. So it's 2 6s.
Critical.
Oh, critical.
That is so perfect.
You take out a good half of the initiates. There are body parts burned and sprayed everywhere. It's horrific.
Yes,
there are still some initiates there, and they start chanting faster and harder and continue walking in circles.
Just imagining someone's like, "Oh, quick, you gotta get our deadline done." Good.
If you glance up at the skylights, the moon has almost risen to the point where it perfectly is aligned with the round skylights in the roof of the cathedral.
Nice.
Garth, you ran outside.
Yeah. Seeing that I've only got one crab following me now, I think I've got a better chance. I'm going to turn around and swing down upon it, and try and hack at this bad boy.
Okay.
Okay. Do a prowess roll. Let's spend another stamina just for funsies. Roll 3d6. 4 1 1. So I got a 4 on my moon die. Success with a consequence.
Success with a consequence. Your consequence is that you cannot resist your transformation.
That's all right. I couldn't have done it anyway. I got no stamina.
Fair enough. You knock down the crab and chew off one of its legs as you too turn into a wolf-like monster and dash off into the streets. Make me a resolve check to see what happens during your transformation.
Alrighty. All right. Oh, so it was 2d6. I need one more b6. So I got a 5.
5. It takes a while for the party to hunt down the transformed member. Advance the clock. Normally, it would take the party a while to hunt you down, but in fact, in this particular instance, because the night's clock has already advanced almost to midnight, instead of dashing off into the streets, you dash inside into the cathedral to where there's carnage and also a bunch of initiates just standing there like fodder.
I love it.
Yeah.
So just go and tear them apart. Is that the plan?
You rip apart 4 of the remaining 10.
Good.
And then
good.
transform back into yourself, covered in gore and blood and like unpleasant things.
I like it. And, just for a moment there, just kind of lick my lips. It's better when it's not sweet. I tell you that.
At this point, Temperance returns to the front door. Julian, you have 2 crabs kind of attacking you, and you've just seen a giant wolf monster dash back into the cathedral.
Do I know if it's the same wolf monster I saw leave before? Or?
You don't know. It looks very similar.
This one came back wearing, spotted love heart underwear,
So I have 1 stamina at the moment, so I'm going to imbue my weapon with blood and swing with my basic attack.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do it.
Seems good. So I think imbuing my weapon with blood gives me an extra die. Is that correct?
It does, yes.
2d6.
Oh, damn.
That is unfortunate.
You must be rolling in stamina now, Zeke.
Well, that's good. I've got 1 stamina left.
You get 1 stamina. You also take 1 harm from the crab kind of clip-clopping you.
Yeah, I'll take that on my armor because I don't.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Temperance, you are back to your human form, covered in blood.
Yeah.
Back from your dash through the streets. You might have eaten something.
Mm.
You don't quite remember. It's all a blur.
It's all right. According to the rules, they're not important.
Not to you, anyway.
That's it. I'm sure they had, a loving family. So, but again, not important.
So, what would you like to do?
I guess I will take out my cleaver and run it across my forearm to imbue it with my blood and then dash at the remaining crab creature on my way through.
Okay.
Trying to sever its antennae.
So that's a prowess check.
Is it prowess for that or?
Yeah, because it's physical.
So +1d to the roll with each blood you mark. Yeah, okay. So
yeah.
I meant to mark 2 blood, so I'm just going to roll 1 more d6.
Okay.
Sorry, I just forgot that I had to do the prowess as well and just do the.
Cool. So you get a 6.
Yeah.
You managed to get the crab that was already down a couple of legs, cut off a couple more legs. So it's now effectively disabled. It's not actually dead, but it's lying there waving its remaining 3 legs in the air and trying to crawl away from anyone.
Yeah, I'm just going to kick it hard as well and then keep running back towards where I last saw Marsh. Come on.
Classic flavor kick.
All right. Fabian.
I'm going to go up to Marsh, I think. Is he still stunned?
He's still stunned. He's on the ground.
On the ground?
He's starting to stir, though.
Okay, I'm going to slit his throat.
All right, then. You do have to make a check to do that.
All right,
I will let you.
Use resolve and just ask him nicely to die.
All right, what kind of check?
You can either use prowess and be really violent about it, or you can use wit and use your reflexes.
Oh, prowess.
I have a suspicion.
And I'm going to put 2 blood into it. Going to roll 5d6.
Ooh, that's stamina. Why not?
Oh, yeah, I've got 2 stamina, yeah. So we're going to increase the effect here.
Okay.
Oh. I got 1. Oh, after all that, Jesus. So only 1 6 after all.
Must be nice.
but I have violent, so I have extra effect when unleashing physical violence.
Ooh.
You managed to slit his throat.
There's blood everywhere.
Yeah, there's blood everywhere. It's spurting. Have you seen Kill Bill?
Yes.
It's the Kill Bill scene. Just blood everywhere.
Yes.
Spurting into the air.
Guys,
more than any human should be able to bleed.
Guys, mission complete.
The remaining 6 initiates are still chanting. They're still doing their circle thing and chanting.
Nice.
You
I just
all have
wave a
one-
hand in front of them.
All right.
Hello? Hello?
So, Garth, you just came to, blood all over you. In fact, you're all... Only Julian is not covered in blood.
Yeah. Just crab meat. I'm going to try and shake this up a little, and I'm going to try and intimidate them with a resolve roll.
Okay.
And, now, it's come to my attention that your leader is dead, and most of your following have. If you wish to continue to survive without being torn to shreds by, do I remember being a wolf?
Plurally.
Without being torn to shreds by some foul beast with sharp, pointy teeth, I would suggest you quiet your mouths and leave quietly now. Anyone else who wishes to stay over the next 30 seconds can expect absolute swift death. And can I roll for that?
Make your check. Make your roll.
A 5 on my moon die.
So you successfully intimidate them. They are all intimidated. And the result of that is all 6 of them step back inside the circle, raise their knives, and cut their own throats.
Good.
Problem solved.
At which point, the circle kind of bubbles, and then the blackness turns into not so much wax as black water and spills inwards to form this round pool of, it looks like it is water, but it's so dark that it could be oil. Yeah. And then a giant tentacle kind of emerges from the pool. Like a giant squid tentacle just emerges and feels around the outside. Do you guys want to stick around, or you want to... What do you want to do?
Well, it is getting pretty late, so we might have to...
Yeah.
There, I think.
To be continued at the point where we're clearly...
No. That is the end. Act 3, epitaphs. You, at this point, you're to describe how you feel. You haven't quite survived to greet the dawn, and I'm not sure you will if you stay inside the cathedral.
I think we scarper.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think Garth will reach down for a firebomb on his band and be like, "Oh God, there's none left."
Shit, sorry.
He's standing there. He's only wearing the underwear and the bandolier still after all his armor was torn off by the crabs. So yeah, I think he's somewhat embarrassed, but at least he didn't lose 4 times in a row to Temperance. So.
Touche.
Yeah. So, you accidentally brought about the apocalypse that you were trying to avoid.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think
anyone
it's
else?
done. It's not finished. I think if you guys are running off, the sort of scene in the background is Temperance running in the opposite direction towards the tentacle with her saw spear up and a firebomb in one hand.
Yes, heroic.
Not over.
Heroic pose. Yeah.
That is the perfect close to this film. It leaves the space for a sequel.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to have a scene at the end credits where you see Garth looking back. He flips open the notebook to a page and just draws the column, and it says Temperance Tentacle, and then he's ready to mark a line. It's good.
Beautiful. All right, so yes, we kind of won. Sort of.
We didn't win.
Kind of.
We brought on the apocalypse.
We brought on the apocalypse. Shit.
We completed our mission, which was
that's
stop
fine.
Marsh doing it, and we did that.
Yeah.
You did. Marsh did not
Marsh
successfully
didn't successfully do what he wanted.
So we'll get some kind of reward in the afterlife for completing our mission,
totally
you know.
reward.
That's good.
I've seen enough hentai to know where this is going.
Oh no, you had to go there. Oh god.
Smooth.
Oh god. All right, let's call it a night there. It's getting late. So thank you to our special guests. Thank you,
Pleasure.
Kirsty. Thank you, Zeke,
Yeah.
for joining us.
Thank you for coming.
Daniel,
we'll,
thank you for the lovely GM of this.
It was
Yes,
really
thank
good.
you.
Good story.
That's
well done, Danielle. Thank
Hope you
you.
enjoyed it.
Yes, and I'm sure we'll be back. All right. Saying goodbye to the internet. See you, everyone.
Thanks, Internet.
Bye.